How dare you?
Why? He always does this. Just to rub it in my face. I can't even get out of this thing.
What? You got a Rancor too now?
His is bigger.
What?
Yes.
Yours has like big crazy horns and shit.
No, his is the cantina. His is the cantina.
Oh my god.
Edition.
Oh my god.
Listen, he has spikes. Listen, I'm not grateful. I'm very grateful for the adopted. He's got spikes. Look at him. Well, now he won't stop. Dude, he plays this game. Like I try to catch up to him, and then he just runs away. Stop running.
No, my brother is just the Tard Wrangler of the two of us. He has to lead us around and be like, "Come on, come."
Do you see his spikes? They're orange.
Yes, they are. Quite nifty. And yours has big, gnarly horns. What are you crying about?
No, his are orange.
No, I get that he has the like spikes around his back and stuff that are orange and everything, but you got big, gnarly horns on the freaking head of the Rancor you got. Pretty cool.
No, his are orange.
Did you want what? You wanted orange? An orange spiked Rancor? Would that have made you feel a little better?
No. Where are we going? I'm hungry. There's stuff at a gas station.
Own your truth. You know, it was difficult. It was at first. I mean, you just cornered me like that and everything, but you know, it's a little liberating now to know I can like Star Wars in more ways than I ever imagined. Dave Filoni is the savior of Star Wars. KK is doing an amazing job. The people out there are just blind and can't see it. So yes, thank you. I can stop lying now.
What?
Our wise little friend is getting festive. It's the all-new animated holiday Yoda.
Enjoy the festivities, you will.
Very wise with season's greetings is he. With much Jedi excitement, you'll see. Yoda's motion-activated gestures will captivate all your guests. And his knowing eyes see who's been naughty or nice.
Have much fun together, we will.
May the holiday spirit be with you and the all-new animated holiday Yoda.
Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Saturday Night Sith. We are on episode 91 now. Hello there. No, we are not sponsored by Home Depot or anything like that, but I just had to play the demented holiday Yoda figure. But besides that, I'm your host, the Fractured Filter, or Fractured Claws for the holiday season, the Christmas season. And with me here is, as always, Mr. J Hitman, my friend, my buddy, my co-host in all this madness. How are you tonight, sir?
Did you get your text? Where's your phone? Why would you play that for? Why?
Because it's funny.
Ugh, it's creepy. It's
yes,
so creepy.
Crimson Raptor. I added it to the intro. Hey, Duke Devil 95. He bought the thing.
Did he really?
he was apparently bringing it into his office. But yeah. I couldn't resist.
To the intro. How did you add it to the intro?
Very easy by downloading it, and I found it on YouTube. They had it uploaded on YouTube. I found it, downloaded it, and put it into the listing.
there are a few joys that I have in my life. Okay,
I see the chat, the text now.
yeah, there are a few. Well, I cleaned that
Well,
up. because
thank
it's a
Crimson
kids
Raptor
show.
who reminded me of it last week.
There
And
are
then
few,
Bradley for having it in his office when we were streaming on Thursday night.
there's few joys I have in my life, and one of the joys of my life is watching the intro on the show of Sheefster running away and the Rancor thing, and then you came back in the clip of where you are, admitting that Filoni is just the greatest thing ever, and then sure enough, I hear the Christmas music. I'm like, no, he. I thought Hallmark was playing in my living room, and you played it. And I'm like, ugh.
I couldn't. What can I say? I just could not resist. Yeah, like Crimson Raptor says, it's Christmas.
It looks like my ex-wife.
It's Christmas time.
It looks like my ex-wife.
Good Lord, I'm so sorry.
Well, so am I.
But the static was in first in line saying no Sheefster, no peace. He is still trying to get the Sheefster in here. And then says late in Hitman. Well, to be honest, I was still trying to put out all the links and everything. So late and fractured. So it's on me.
I was not late. I was ready to go.
No, he was right on time. We were both in here. We were kind of just chit chatting, and I was getting all the links set up. And stuff like that.
We were chit chatting. I found this list.
What's this list you've been talking about? Let's see this list.
And then they put Godzilla 2018. No, I'm sorry. Was it 2018? Yeah, 2008. Was it 18? What did I tell you?
You still haven't sent me this damn list.
Well, I just because I care about. I don't want you to crush your heart because I know how much you love Godzilla. But according to the list, 2018 was up there.
Okay.
Above minus
Everybody's
one.
entitled to their opinions, no matter how wrong they may be.
Facts don't care about your feelings.
My facts are all that matter.
earlier this week, I tried to get. Not that ever press fractures buttons, but sometimes I will make comments, and I made a comment to him at work, and
yeah,
if looks
didn't go over well for you.
No, if looks keep yeah, because I said something, and then I got basically just I needed probably maybe Bradley could have been there to defend me or Crimson one of the two because I got a couple people started jumping down my throat. But he's very calm, cool, collected. Like as a as cool as a cucumber. I'm like, why is this not working? I don't know. Had to do with Godzilla I think I said something along the lines of like, it was like -2 or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I said, but yeah, basically
it was a good effort. It was a good effort.
I failed getting through to him, or he was just so mad and he wanted to punch me that he was just
I had to make sure and enter my Zen mode.
Yes. Good time.
Yeah.
No, but I was trying to, and then just to no avail. And I was like, and then it's not even fun. Then you just want to walk away, and then yeah. I'll try better next time.
What can I say? I find my ways.
It's not a list, but it was according to Amazon. It was like
Amazon.
Yeah, how they rate their movies or how their movies are. I'll send it to you. It's through Prime.
Oh yeah. So what? Just like how it's listing for? Do they
probably? That's how they like list their movies. So it's not like probably not a proper list, but I just thought it was funny. 2008. They had 2018 up there with we just talked about the show before the show. The guy from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, Godzilla 98. Yeah.
Oh, that's the one. Yeah, not 2018. I was saying 98 was better.
So you're just searching on Amazon and getting the listing of the movies, which is just generally very random anyways.
It's not random. Why would you say that for? There's no subjectivity in the line listing.
It's usually pretty random. Especially if you're
I
just
mean,
searching for movies
if
and you
you
put
look
in
between,
Godzilla and
listen,
it's like just farts it out.
Godzilla 98 was in the top 3 under King of the Monsters, which I mean, obviously, King of the Monsters is the best
You
outside the
can keep
original.
going with it. You can keep going with that
I'm
narrative.
just,
That's all good. That's all good, homie.
he's no fun when he does this. He's like, I just keep trying.
Keep trying to gaslight me.
I would not. I don't gaslight. I'm not a millennial. Not a leftist. Libtard. Out here gaslighting people. Let's see like top 10 Godzilla movies. Let's just do that. Top 10. I just want to see.
Wait, you're just throwing that into Google now?
Yeah, everybody just go. You want me to use DuckDuckGo?
Whatever you darn well please.
Rotten Tomatoes. I'm just curious, like what people think. We should do a poll. You know what? Let's leave it to the people. We should do a poll on Twitter. See what they like. You pick your movies, and I'll let you pick. How many options can we do? 4? How many choices can you do?
So what, you
4?
want to do like a top 5 Godzilla movie rankings?
Yes. But you could pick the 4 that you want, and I'll just put King of the Monsters.
Well, I have to pick them right now, or do we have to like next
we
week?
We'll
Give our top 5.
Yeah, we can do that. But we could throw a poll on Twitter, and I'll let you pick 4 because I think you do 5 choices. You do five choices.
However you want to do it. Yeah.
I don't know if you can do more than 5.
You can do 5 or what are you talking about? Where?
On
Twitter?
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, yeah, you can only do.
Or we could do it here.
5.
I think it's kind of a fun thing to do.
Yeah,
like I said, we don't have anything to do with.
Yeah,
Star
4
Wars
choices. 4 choices on Twitter for a poll.
Why do you want to do? I think we should do something fun because Star Wars, we don't have anything.
Oh yeah, we do got some news. So
I think it'd be
hello,
fun.
Corey Cochran. How are you doing today? Thanks for jumping in.
Welcome. I'll let you pick 4.
Yeah,
and I'll just do
like Static says, you only got 4 on a Twitter poll.
I think you'd think that they would do more. Elon, get your stuff right, dude. I think you would think that you'd be able to do more than just 4.
And it's the same. It seems like for YouTube poll as well as 4. Yeah. So yeah, it's 4 across the board. It seems.
Well,
I mean, if you want to, just like you and I, we do like our own, like we factor out what we want for our top 5.
I think that'd be fun. We could do both. We do like run a poll and then talk about our top 5. Mine are going to be old. Well, mine will be like old ones.
Or we could do like a what is it? Those I've seen people do them. Those ratings. Like we could get like a list of all the Godzilla movies, and we start putting them into different. We do like a tier list of it, and we'll do it live and pick it. We'll maybe grab somebody else. Maybe Sheefster will come on, and maybe get somebody else or somebody, and then we could do like a Godzilla tier listing for the movie.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
I'll have to ask some people that have done it and like what you use to do all that crap because I haven't done that before. But that could be interesting. It could be fun. Could be entertaining.
You've not done a tier list?
Well, like no, not like the way I've seen other people do these tier lists. So I'd be very curious. Be fun.
Yeah, I think we should do that.
Hey, yeah, Crimson Raptor. I've heard that rumor too that Mandalorian season 4 will be a movie now, which I don't know if that's a step down or a step up. And will it actually go to theaters or will it be a straight to DVD sort of thing? Straight to straight to streaming, I should say. But yeah, I've heard that rumor flying around. I think I heard it either on Casual Rage or on the Spacing when Rhino was on and they were talking about it. Either of those 2 places I know I heard it from.
Well, the last couple of weeks I've been missing the Spacing because due to work and everything. But did you watch it last night or did you?
I've been listening to it. Yeah.
Was it good? I
Yeah,
missed
it's like
last
it was
night 'cause-
more of just like a like kind of a little thing, just Rhino and Tim talking, and they were just getting it was getting towards the end, and they were getting to the point of just asking questions.
Anything more come up with Rhino and or Canal and Star Wars theory?
Yeah, I've
That
listened
whole
to some of that. Yeah. So Crimson Raptor says it's both a step up and a step down. Hey, Red Hoodwink, how's it going? And says it's Disney. It's always a step down.
right.
True enough. True enough.
I do want to get your thoughts. So before, like,
Yeah,
we never structure these things, right? So I
we go in whatever
want
order
to-
we damn well please.
right. Are you opposed
Huh.
to? Okay, I'm just gonna throw it out here. So I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube of just gameplay through Battlefront. I think is, and I don't know if it's Battlefront 1 or Battlefront 2. I'm assuming probably Battlefront 2. I have admitted that I really enjoyed Battlefront 1. I thought it was I enjoyed the game.
The original
I'm
or the
watching what-
EA one?
The origin. There's two. Was there two?
Yes, there's the so there's the original Battlefront, which was from like 2000 something. Hang on.
The one where they first introduced the hero battle.
Oh, that
The
was like
battle for
Battlefront
hero.
2 when they. I think that's when they first introduced
No,
the
there was
whole.
one before that. No, there was one before Battlefront 2 where you.
Well, yeah,
I
Battlefront 1,
remember
but
one.
Battlefront was 2004. It looks like, and then Battlefront 2 was 2005. The original, not the EA one. Yeah, 2005 for the, and that was, I'm pretty sure, when they introduced the hero battles.
Okay. Well, it's one. I know I played the first one. I remember it because it was for obviously Xbox, and it's an amazing game. So hopefully it's the original.
Well, they were
Battlefront.
both on the Xbox, so
Okay. I'd have to go back and see. I think I still have it on my console, but anyways, I've been watching these videos, just kind of the gameplay and whatnot, and that. So again, I'm not very. You're more familiar and knowledgeable about the mods and everything, but I've had this itching to like just try to like play it. Now, obviously on the computer, not on console, because you can't obviously mod a console. But anyway, so I don't know. I've had this
yeah,
urge to
there's
try
a little
to.
difficult.
But the problem is, I don't know how you can get into a room, because even when I used to play Battlefront 2 back when it first came out, it was hard to get into rooms. It's hard to get into server rooms. So
Well, and I don't believe there are active servers for Battlefront 1 for the
There's
original. I know that they revived the ability for servers in Battlefront 2, like through the GOG version and everything, and both the Steam as well. So either one can do that.
yeah, they don't have them. Period, or it's just nobody's active.
What's that?
There's not an actual room. Like they're no longer servers, or you just nobody.
I don't
plays.
think there are servers for Battlefront 1, because like I said, the only one was reactivated was for the original Battlefront 2.
Well, anyways, I've had this itching to play, but however, I will say every time that I've played Battlefront and Battlefront 2, I can't even kill anybody because these people are just sweaty, and that's all they, they're. I did see this; it was really, really cool. So, did you ever grow up watching Transformers, like the cartoon, the proper Transformers?
I mainly watched Beast Wars. I did not watch the proper original
So
cartoon. I know about it. Yeah.
Okay. So I saw this droidica, right? For those of us who are true Star Wars fans, not Disney fans, you'll know what a droidica is.
A droid, Oz.
Was it who did the concept art for? Was it for the prequels? Who did the concept art for it? It was I got his name on the tip of my tongue. It starts with I think his last name is start with an M. McCall.
Careful with that.
Yeah, who did the
I'm
do you know who
looking.
talking
I'm
about?
trying to look it up right now. So who are the concept artists for Star Wars prequels? Star Wars concept art by artists Ryan Church, Ian McCraig, and Doug Chang.
It was one of those guys. I thought it was God, the last name is M. Anyway, but he basically had a Jordica that was decked out like a Decepticon. I thought it was actually kind of cool. But kid moment, because obviously, we know Autobots are terrible. It's all about the Decepticon life.
But he kind of looking like a Decepticon. I see this.
So I think I still have the video I was watching. Probably not done much to it, but he had the Decepticon symbols on the back, and he had a bunch of like different like wires and everything.
Huh. I'm not getting anything that I could see in the Google image search, at least.
I'll send it to you. I mean, it's in a video, but
well, I can at least just pause it through the video on the part that.
Let me see here. Okay, I'll send you the video.
Yeah, people cheering over there. They're really excited.
No, it's not what I want to do. Technical difficulties. Stand by.
And that's loud.
Well, what's crazy is my volume on my phone's completely zeroed. So I don't know why it's
gotcha.
my phone. YouTube.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's see.
All right. You want me to put in Discord?
Sure. I've always got that open, so.
Let's do that. All right. I hope this is the one. May not be.
May not be.
Well, there's two of them. That was what. So it's either this one or I think it's the one I just sent you.
Okay.
I would check maybe at the 12-minute mark, 11-minute mark. It's like a 14-minute video, but it's like at the 11.
Oh, this is the new Battlefront.
Yeah. So not like a yeah.
Sit around the 12-minute mark.
Maybe. Like I said, it wasn't anything like it's a droidica, but he had the Decepticon symbols, and it looked like he had modded like different like some neon light. It looked kind of I don't know.
Oh wait, so he said like neon lights and stuff.
Yeah, like and the wires and everything. So maybe it was just looking.
Okay,
like
so looking like that, then I think I did find what you're talking about.
Did you?
Oh yeah, I did. Never mind, I'm retarded. Hang on, here we go. Autobot and Decepticon droidicas.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, I guess maybe. Yeah.
Oh, there. Yeah, there's the.
Yeah. So I thought it looked kind of. But I'm just I nerd out when it comes to Decepticon type stuff. So
the lighting's kind of neat, but it's the droidica that belongs in a rave.
Yeah. No, true.
It's funny what people do with this stuff. That's cool. I was honestly expecting a little more modifications to the look, but I mean that's cool.
Yeah. I just don't know how you do that stuff if it's mod packs and people are creating.
Tuscan Bob, how's it going, sir? Saying Ryan Johnson should direct the next big stupid lizard movie. You know what? I'm sure it'll look pretty. It'll be stupid. I don't know if it could be more stupid than what they're about to do with Godzilla X Kong, but it would certainly be something. I would not be against it. If they can crash the legendary version of Godzilla, I'm fine with that. Oh, hang on.
It's gonna be hard to top King of the Monsters.
Indeed. Speaking of, because Tuscan Bob accurately depicted how I behaved when he triggered me when he was insulting Godzilla. And this is he's correct. This is me. This is how I'd behave.
Accurate representation.
I thought it was funny when he posted that the
What was
gif of
the-
that.
what was- last week we were talking about who's this actor we talked about last week who wanted to take on Star Wars. Did he do -1?
Yeah, the director for that.
Yeah,
we talked about that, and I was like, hell no, don't do it. Don't get
But
involved
why,
in that
though?
disgusting system
but
that is
why?
Hollywood.
Well,
He apparently wanted to. He's a fan of Star Wars. He liked it.
the only way that you could do this is if Disney no longer owns the rights to Star Wars and you produce it. You literally do what George did, I guess, in a
Yeah.
sense. That's the only way that you're gonna do it. But as long as Disney owns Star Wars, like, good luck. I think we talked about this. I think when I was on vacation, we talked about. I asked you if Sam Raimi, we were talking about Spider-Man, like if Sam Raimi wasn't beholden to the studio, could he make a better Spider-Man than what we've gotten?
It's
Sam
possible.
Raimi-
Yeah, I think we talked. Yeah, I think I remember us talking
We
about that.
did. So that's what it's kind of the same thing. And I think when you're just handcuffed to a chair when it comes to directing, when for these studios and like Hollywood and
Yeah.
So unless you go independent,
Well, and that's what I said, is that he should just go the approach George did back in the day
probably
and
makes it
make his
so
own
hard for you to-
Star Wars at this point.
They make it so hard though for you to do it,
Well,
to go independent.
you just have to. I think you just have to have the right persistence to want to actually pull it off.
Oh,
and do it.
absolutely.
So,
But I'd be completely frank with you. Some of these low budget movies compared to what Hollywood's pumping out it's insane to see the quality. And again, we've talked about, it's passion versus just stupidity.
yeah.
And, but some of these movies, these low budget movies compared to like what Marvel's, paying for a movie and they're amazing movies.
Amazing. Yes.
Well, I'll give you an example. Now I don't know let's actually, filibuster. I'm gonna look up.
So I was gonna get to some of the comments that Red Hoodwink saying they look like something you'd put in your front yard for Halloween or Christmas. Tuscan Bob, imagine the Godzilla maneuver where he leaps out of the water at lightning speed and just blows up Tokyo. I mean, that was almost in -1 to a degree. I'm doing my laps, he says. All right. Internet Crusader, hello. How's it going? Saying, what is up, boys and girls? Hello, welcome to the stream. Red Hoodwinked. Or does he the flying jump kick he did in Godzilla versus Megalon, and that's got the Godzilla maneuver? Hey, I am down for that. I'm up for some proper zany antics, not the weird shit that they seem to be doing with Godzilla now. And yes, I'm saying that the Megalon stuff is not weird shit. That is appropriate because that's also coming from Japan. They're allowed to do that. Internet Crusader says I could see Sam Raimi having fun if he was given free reign. Yeah, definitely. It'd be an interesting thing to see him do. I mean, I do think sometimes some creatives do need a bit of a tard wrangler to kind of keep them in line for some things, because sometimes they'll go so far out there. But yeah, I mean, I'd be very interested to see that, especially if you like he's going to start completely fresh over and not pick up where he left off with the movies. So, Crimson Raptor, Raimi would do well. Christopher Nolan, maybe for Spider-Man, be interesting. Craig, Godzilla versus Sharknadoes. You know what? I'd probably watch that. It'd be retarded. That would probably be Ryan Johnson's Godzilla movie. Godzilla versus Sharknadoes. Let's make it happen. Internet Crusader in here with absolutely or 100% correct, but the difference between a wrangler to keep someone in scope of project and corporate stranglehold for brand safety are entitled. Yes, you are 100% correct on that. He's had to find the right person on the creative team to keep the other individual in line, so they aren't going so far off task. That was something that like Peter Molyneux, who did the Fable video games and Black and White and one of my favorite, like the whole Lionhead Studios, he needed somebody to, because he was like a little overly passionate on selling his games, and he definitely needed somebody to kind of yank him in play. To keep him on course. And also I would say I always have to get the name of other individual because I'm shit with names sometimes, but Hideo Kojima also needs a strong tard wrangler, and I think that was what Tomokazu Fukushima, I believe, one of the writers. You heard me. One of the writers on Metal Gear Solid, like he was on for Metal Gear Solids like 1, 2, and 3, I believe, and really kind of kept things in line, because otherwise, once you let Kojima off the leash, he goes freaking weird territories, and then also
which isn't necessarily bad, right?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But in instances of like Metal Gear Solid 4, completely removes gameplay, and just he wants to be a director. That's the problem. He wants to be a director, a movie director, instead of a game developer. He just kind of loses course completely. So yeah, it's like it is. It's sometimes need those people to kind of rein them in. Crimson getting a little mixed up. Thought we were talking Star Wars. My bad. We will be getting to some Star Wars stuff. No worries.
Oh, for sure.
But I mean, hey, it all goes together, because certainly people at Lucasfilm need some tard wrangling. Internet Crusader, you could crucify me for this, but I think Kojima needs a fucking wrangler for his writing. And no, I am 100% with you on that for sure. Especially Kojima. Good God. Metal Gear Solid 4 was a disaster in my book. What was it? Peace Walker was a shit fest with his goofy, weird AI bringing back the boss and everything. And then what he was trying to do, and I get it. I get what he was doing with like Metal Gear Solid 5 and Ground Zeroes and all that shit, but it's just kind of this ends up being weird nonsense at some degrees. And then Death Stranding was about as subtle as a brick fucking wall. Interesting gameplay-ish. Like, he knows what he wants, I guess, even though that was still kind of more Metal Gear gameplay. Just with, you were building bridgers and you were named Bridger. Yeah, guy, we get it. No, I like it is. I like the early Metal Gear games, but once once Kojima lost some of the people that he did that were no longer keeping him in line, and he got more control at Konami, things just went crazy. Stream latency. Oh no. I'm still seeing excellent connection on my end for it. Hopefully it's just being goofy for a moment. Coming in clutch. All right. So did you find what you were looking for?
Yeah. So what I was saying was the point I was trying to make is, you know, when you're beholden to like studios in Hollywood, like it's no surprise you have to do what they say, but it's crazy that when you go independent,
Yeah.
you know, some of these movies that, you know, these directors that have gone independent have produced just far better content than some like in Hollywood. And I'm going to give an example. This is going to be a very subjective comment, right? And like I said, so there's a movie. It's called Sound of Freedom.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yep.
Okay, so it's done by Angel Productions, which is a Christian studio, and Jim Caviezel played a big part of this.
Yeah.
I think Mel Gibson. Anyway, so what's funny about this is this movie, what the budget for this movie was $14.5 million, right?
Right.
Okay, and just it's and like I said, I'm biased because as a Christian, it's about, you know, child trafficking, and it really just punches Hollywood. It exposes Hollywood. There's a lot of people that want to come to fruition, including Hollywood. But what's funny about this is Disney owned the rights to this for years.
Right. Yeah, they were kind of sitting on it for a while.
Yeah, the company that wants to destroy your children own the rights to this story that was the complete antithesis to what they believe, right? And so anyway, so that the point I'm trying to make is that it's Angel Productions is relatively a new studio, produced this movie, $14.5 million budget, compared to Barbie that had a $104.5 million budget and was just I didn't watch it, but you know, we've talked about it and I've watched reviews. It's just trash, right? Or what, you know, and it's hard to compare to like the Marvels because I know
and you're also entering into way different territories for movies and stuff like that. Like you're talking about something very grounded and serious versus something that's very wacky and
for sure
whatever Barbie was supposed to be and stuff. So
whatever it was, but and that's why like I'm not going to bring up the Marvels. Marvels had like a 200
and then there's the Marvel cape shit. So.
And that budget was $274.8 million budget. Obviously, CGI is very, very expensive, and that's why I was like, "Well, I'm not going to compare Sound of Freedom to
you can't,
you know, Marvel's because of the CGI. You can't." But like Barbie, like I don't know if there's a lot of CGI in that. But the point I'm trying to make is these companies that are brand new have a fourth of the budget, right? And they're producing stuff that is. And again, I know this is a subjective comment, I guess, but the point I'm trying to make is like it's not even half the budget, a fourth of the budget, and look at what they're producing versus Disney, Hollywood that has all the money in the world and they can't seem to make a good movie, right? Or they make a movie that has everything to do with the agenda they're pushed. So I don't want to get into that. That was the point I was trying to make is you can find like when you go independent, you're not beholden to Hollywood and the Luciferian doctrine that they want to push out.
Well, and yeah, it's also just kind of going away, trying to stay away from the Hollywood machine because
for sure. But when we were talking about last week, and I don't mean to catch you up, but that guy who did the -1, if he could somehow do a Star Wars movie and not be beholden to Disney and somehow listen, this we're talking about like perfect situation. But it's not going to happen, right? Because Disney's not going to let him do anything that contradicts their stuff. So, like, this is just
if he somehow got to work on the Star Wars movie, he would be under a lot of eyes and scrutiny and stuff
for sure.
Like
but
that.
If he could, like I said, we joke a lot about -1. I am going to go watch it tonight. I do believe, but I think if you are not beholden to Hollywood and you know, we're just going to say Hollywood is abroad. I think you can make you don't have to bend the knee, and you can do what you want. You have the creative freedom, and it's asinine to think that any producer or director, I will say this: producers and directors, they do have creative freedom, as long as it's the same creative freedom that that Hollywood allows you to have.
Right.
It's really not freedom. It's really not freedom, right? But when you go independent, I think you do, because it's your money, and that's what I think with like Angel Productions, they've had to put, you know, there's investors and everything, but like, you know, you're putting the money up front, right? Because Hollywood makes it so hard. I'm not an expert about Hollywood. I would assume that they make it very hard for you to compete within the movie business, because they
absolutely do.
They own it. You know, I sit here and I think, why did the writer's strike happen? Like, this is off topic, but I sit here and I wonder, is like, you know, is it because they were going against Hollywood, or is Hollywood trying to, you know, I don't know a lot about that, but I was just thinking there, I was like, why is this happening? Like, why did that actually happen? Were these actors trying to go against Hollywood, and Hollywood's like, no, you're not going to do it. We're going to crush you. Like, you work for us. You forget that we extort you, not the other way around. Yeah. Right? Or is it, you know what I mean? And you're probably more knowledgeable about that than I am, or somebody in the chat help me understand. But is that because they're showing, like, trying to remind them that, like, hey, you work for us. We don't work for you. This isn't a democracy, right? This is a totalitarian dictatorship. We give you a job, right?
Right.
We allow you the freedom to take that job if you so will. In a sense, not really, because, you know, but I'm just saying, like, I was a machine, man. Good luck going up against them. And when you do, you know, you become the minority very, very quick.
Very quick, yes. Well, you know, and I mean, speaking of Godzilla -1 and its director, that's kind of the funny thing, is I've been kind of keeping my eye out on it, and it's just been out. It's just been out in the news, regardless. And for example, yeah, box office Bigfoot, Godzilla -1, already a huge success. Saying director, of course, directed by Takashi Yamazaki, Godzilla -1 marks an auspicious beginning for Toho's International's first North American self-distribution, because that's an important thing. Like, they distributed this. This isn't being reliant on a third party helping push this out, not a TriStar or anything like that. Because I think that was TriStar, Paramount, or somebody was some of the, especially for like the dubbings of the Godzilla movies, helped with some of that. But in this instance, this is a time when Toho has been able to now go international and also do self-distribution, which I think is an important thing. And I think that's kind of goes into, like, yeah, getting away from the Hollywood machine, not being dependent on it. And in a way, while Toho in Japan is a big movie studio, is kind of that step of getting away from those sort of confines, you know? And it says, as the 33rd installment in the renowned Godzilla franchise, the film debuted on December 1st or November 29th, which is when my brother and I went for the special IMAX viewing. Alongside the release of Renaissance, a film by Beyonce. Oh, lovely. Despite minimal marketing expenditure, the kaiju film has demonstrated promising traction, amassing approximately 4.7 million at the North American box office, with a potential weekend total reaching the low teens, supported by a notable A grade on CinemaScore. The robust start is a particular commendable for a foreign language film, because yes, not everybody's big on wanting to, because it's with English subtitles. So reading the subtitles plus watching the movie for some can be very distracting if you aren't already used to that sort of thing. And I get it, I do. Accentuated by its period piece portrayal of post-World War II Japan, Godzilla -1, with a reported production budget of $15 million, has garnered acclaim for its depiction of its historical events amid kaiju chaos. Its success extends beyond North America, having already amassed $23 million in its native Japan since its November release, challenging the notion that box office stars are a relic of the past. It's worth noting that the box office figures provided are estimates and originate from various sources without independent verification by Bleeding Fool. Nonetheless, the film's strong performance hints at a potential enduring presence in this cinematic landscape. And this is the other thing, like, they had a limited release for this movie. I think it was supposed to end December 7th. However, due to the popularity of this movie, it has been pushed to staying longer in American theaters, which is why Hitman, if you do end up seeing it tonight, that's why, because of that, because they extended it out. Otherwise, you would have lost.
Oh, did
you would have
they?
lost your chance. It was originally ending,
Oh,
but they've extended it. So that's the cool thing about that. And also, and apparently, like the director, he was at the Tokyo Comic Con and even had this to say when because disputed reports from overseas that the movie had a $15 million budget. He declared, "I wish it were that much." So maybe the estimates are lower than what people are talking about. And so, yeah, that's kind of an interesting thing. And I mean, the thing is, like, this guy oversaw basically everything for the movie, including the VFX, all the special effects and stuff like that. So it's why I think also things are as strong as they are. And there are, don't get me wrong, there are some kind of weak points with some of the CGI in the movie. But like overall, it looks very good. It's very well done.
yeah.
And on top of that, he put out a message. So it says, a message of gratitude from Godzilla -1 director, writer, and VFX lead Takashi Yamazaki, saying, quote, "We're excited by the tremendous response in North America. I've been reading the fan feedback on social media and am very encouraged by the passionate comments based on a thorough analysis of the film. In some theaters, I've heard there was even applause. Thank you for warmly receiving our Godzilla." And yeah, even in my theater at the end of the movie, we had people clapping.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And remember, ours was like one of the first day of viewings because it was the special like premiere fan viewing or whatever the hell it said on the poster. And this is a good message to be putting out. It's kind of like how they did that with Top Gun or Top Gun 2, Tom Cruise saying basically, "Thank you for coming to watch this movie."
Yeah.
And that's kind of the sort of things that should be started to be put out more than unlike Disney, who just likes to shit on fan bases and
Oh, for
say
sure.
and have already preconceived notions that and also telling its actors, you're gonna face quote unquote racism, so be prepared. And when that doesn't really happen, other than like some very innocuous comments that are debated on whether or not they're real. So stuff like this is definitely a good thing to put out there versus always the negativity that does get branched out. And from my understanding, he wants to do a sequel, which I
Yeah.
think the way it ended left itself very open to a sequel. And I would be very curious to see what is done with that sort of thing, personally. And also, it has now like hit also for Godzilla -1. It's now hit it's been hitting into European cinemas. Check your local screenings in the Nordics, Benelux, Italy, Portugal, Poland, Greece, Cyprus, and the Baltics for tickets and information. Coming to France December 7th and 8th only, and to Spain and South Africa December 15th. So it is getting widely distributed for sure. And then I have another thing here. I had so many little things bookmarked. Yeah, so let me get the
Can he top the if so here's the thing, when we talk about sequels, this is just my opinion. It is, I don't like sequels because it's very hard to beat the first, right? So
always.
perfect
Yeah.
example
It's tough to do
is,
that.
I know that I'm gonna get slack for this, but Top Gun 2, right? I knew there was no way that anybody was going to top Gun 1, right? Unless Bruckheimer and obviously Tom Cruise had some type of, unless their hands were in the pot. But even with that being said, I don't think Top Gun 2 surpassed Top Gun 1, right? Because it's a classic.
Right.
And I'm always hesitant with that. But with this being said, if this director who did -1 comes back and does a second one, can he this is subjective, right? But like, in your opinion, being the Godzilla guy, do you think he can knock this out of the park and be better than -1? Was -1 so good in your opinion that it's hard to top?
It's good, but
Or
I mean, like, I think it could. I mean, I think it certainly could be
why
done
do you think? Okay,
better.
so
I don't want to.
let's do,
Just
yeah,
you
don't
see it. Yeah,
spoil it.
you see it because
Yeah,
the
okay.
things that I have in mind would technically spoil parts of the film.
So let's do this. So I'm gonna see this tonight, like 7 o'clock. So like 6:30, 7 o'clock. I'm gonna go watch this. So I think next week, let's officially next week. I want to know. I'm gonna watch that, and I want to know what your qualms were with it, and what
Yeah,
you think
absolutely.
they could have done, what he could have done better, being the Godzilla guy, right? Because
Well, I mean, hey,
I
how
just,
can I say better than them? But I mean, I have my idea.
well, I mean, for sure, but like, that's my problem with sequels, because I always with the exception of this, okay, and this is the greatest debate ever, right?
Uh-huh.
Is which is better, A New Hope, Empire? No, I'm sorry. What the greatest debate that I've ever heard debated was, is it Empire or is it Return of the Jedi? Obviously, Return.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Empire Strikes Back. I'm sorry, Empire Strikes Back, in my opinion, better than Return. Return's very good, but Star Wars is the anomaly, right? Because it's like they're all just amazing. It's like there's things I love about A New Hope, there's things I love about Empires, and there's things that I love about Return. But for me specifically, like, Empire just takes the cake. But again, that's maybe we shouldn't talk about. I don't know. That's hard to say.
I mean,
We'll leave Star Wars out of it.
again, bringing in some different comparisons there, but I mean, like, I'd say, yeah, like,
Well, because they were all like, you had A New Hope, and then we knew it would have had to have obviously been a trilogy, but it's like there was A New Hope. A New Hope is fantastic when you watch it, and then can you imagine like being back like in 1977? Can you imagine like watching A New Hope and like,
just
man,
well,
like, how
that
do you
I mean,
top this?
it's just Star Wars, and people weren't sure what direction it may go.
For
So
sure, but can you imagine like watching, like how do you top this, right? And then we get Empire, like
right,
this, and the greatest, I mean, in my opinion, right, the greatest, original trilogy movie there. And then how do you top Empire, right? Well, Return the Jedi.
right.
So maybe that'd be an anomaly, but every other sequel is just, it's hard to beat. So
Well, like, I used to go back and forth between that, like, Empire and stuff like that. But like, as I've gotten older, I do think like Return. While yes, you do have the whole Ewok stuff going on, I just think the story that is going on, especially like with Luke and Vader and all that sort of stuff,
has more
it
depth.
has more depth
It
and
really,
overshadows
yeah.
it, and everybody likes to say, "Oh, like Empire ends on the down ending," when it doesn't. When you actually realize what's going on, in that they are gonna go and hunt for Han, they're gonna get him back. They're determined to do so. Luke's back with the party, so there's hope for that.
Yeah.
But with Return, I mean, it just kind of concludes everything together, in my opinion, nicely enough, and I've come to enjoy it a lot more. Like, especially just for the final scenes and everything, and between him and Vader, between Luke and Vader, and all that. So, yeah. So I've kind of changed my mind. I've kind of flipped on that, but yeah. I mean, I mean, in talking of sequels, like Crimson Raptor throws in Spider-Man hot takes, Raimi
I was
Spider-Man
just gonna
2
look.
greater than
Yeah.
Spider-Man. I would say
What is your
I've come over time to kind of think that even like between Terminator 1 and Terminator 2, I like Terminator 1 a lot more nowadays.
Really?
Yes.
A lot of people, I feel like, again, this is what we're talking about, is all subjective.
I like a lot of
but
the synth, like more of the
I
synth music, and I just think with the tone and that it really, I think I think 2 kind of complicates things because you do learn how supposedly the war is still going when, like, well, shouldn't have actually stopped because time change and all that. Anyway, I've just kind of come to like more of like the way 1 goes versus 2 personally, and I think maybe just because of more of the grittiness to it. And and even though like you could see like kind of how some of it's a little dated with the with some of the like green screen or whatever, I kind of like that more than a lot of the polish and stuff that comes out of 2. Like 2 is still a great movie. I enjoy it. I just think I like 1 more.
Yeah. Did we go over an article? I think we did. There was, or maybe I sent it to you. There was talk about having a Heat 2 come out.
A what?
But it was supposed to be Heat. Okay, so did you ever watch Heat with Robert De Niro, Al Pacino?
No, I haven't.
Oh, for actually one of the greatest movies of all time.
I've been too busy with my goofy giant lizard movies. So what can I say?
Yeah, fantastic movie. It's Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Val Kilmer, a lot of big actors, but it's like a heist movie, right?
Right. But I've heard of that. I just have not seen it.
Yeah, so they're talking about doing a Heat 2 with like Adam Driver being like the son of Neil. The character Robert De Niro's character plays Neil McCulloch, I think, or something like he basically plays his son as an Arnold. I thought we went over it. If not, I'll have to try to find it. But I lost my mind because there are some movies that do not need a sequel, and Top Gun was one of them. When I heard that Top Gun was going to have a sequel, I lost my mind. It's like, how are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do? Like, you know, I was like, you can't do this. Like, let Goose rest in peace and let it go, right?
Right.
And but then, like I said, they did it, and I think Tom Cruise did it. You know, despite him being, I guess, a hard person to work for. I don't know. There's mixed stuff on that, but I think I think he did the best he could with it, because you weren't going to top it, right? There's just some movies you can't top, and again,
you can't.
In my opinion, you can't top one, right? But Heat is one of these movies where it's like we talk about, you remember Heir to the Empire, we're like, absolutely not, we don't want to see, you know, it's different because it's a book turned into a movie, but I kind of akin it to that is because there's some things we do not want we don't want an adaptation of, we don't want a sequel to. And Heat's one of them because it's such a fantastic movie, and I'm afraid that Al Pacino is probably 120 years old, and Robert De Niro is grumpy. I don't think he would come back. Robert De Niro can't because his character obviously dies, but so we're led to believe he dies,
right?
Which is one of those movies where I don't want them to remake it or have a sequel to,
right?
Godzilla, fine, because he's going to destroy another part of the world. So fine.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, let me.
Very curious though how they would do it.
Catch up with some of these comments for it. Yeah, that one especially, like they left it open for sequels. Like I said,
that's what I was going to ask.
Well, like especially a direct sequel with that one in particular. Because like Tuscan says, he says 30-something ish Godzilla movies is open for a sequel. Gosh, are you sure? Here's kind of the thing. So there are a lot of Godzilla movies, yes. Like I said, 38, 33, 33. Not all of them have been directly connected. And that's kind of the thing. That's where you kind of get into weird territory of, is it a sequel? Is it not? And like there is the first main Godzilla movie from 54. And then the way it is kind of brought up is that the actual like sequel, avoiding all of those movies of the 60s and 70s and stuff in between. So like all the verses, the Godzilla versus Mothra, Gigan, Mechagodzilla, and all that is ignored. It's just focused on the original first movie. And then Godzilla Returns, which was 1984, 85. That's meant to be a direct sequel to the original film. And then they do actually have a continuation of the continuity through the 90s. So that's what they call the Heisei era. And that's like the Godzilla versus Biollante, Mecha King Ghidorah, Space Godzilla, and then ending with Destroya, which is basically also referring back to the original movie with the Oxygen Destroyer. They cut it off. That's the end. And then you basically have then, yes, a bunch of movies that are either harkening back to the original, but are not real direct sequels. They're just kind of using the original film as a basis, and then making all these other films just more for fun. And you get to Shin Gojira, which was its own standalone, brand new continuity. It's kind of like a reboot, its own standalone continuity where Hideaki Anno was wanting to tell his own story with Godzilla. And then you have Godzilla -1 here. Same situation. The director wanted to tell his own story with Godzilla. And that,
So there's really no ties to any of the previous movies. It's
no,
its own.
and especially like this one where it's taking place post-war Japan and everything, which was basically the original Godzilla movie. This is doing the same thing. Just more directly like after the war.
I can't remember, somebody in the comments had brought this up, but I think so because I think I heard it. But what are your thoughts on Christopher Nolan doing a Godzilla movie? Knowing his, and before you answer, knowing his style of directing, the music, this like just how he does his. You've watched his movies, right? Did you watch Tenet?
I did not watch Tenet. No.
Did you watch Inception?
I did.
Did you watch
Weird and trippy, and I got it, but I was like, all right, whatever.
But you okay? So you know his style,
right?
It's you watch one of his movies, and he's, in my opinion, one of the only directors that has that type of style. It's just my opinion. What are your thoughts on him doing a
Godzilla movie? I don't know. That's kind of it seems like way too outside his realm. Or I mean, I guess maybe not after Batman and everything, but
right.
I mean, that'd be one hell of a way to follow up Oppenheimer.
Right, and like I said, you saw Oppenheimer.
I haven't watched that, no, because I heard there's like a 3-hour freaking movie or something.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel like a 3-hour movie. That's the thing.
That's what I've heard.
His movies are by far the longest movies that I've watched, but they don't feel like 3-hour movies. The pacing is very, very good.
He'd be an interesting one to try that out. I'd be very curious. I'd be very curious to see what he does. My personal pick has always been, I've always wondered what Peter Jackson would do with Godzilla.
I don't know.
And I know people have problems with Kong. I personally liked some of what he did with the King Kong movie. That was kind of why I did. There were some parts that I really liked about it. And I think it would have been interesting. I think he would be an interesting one to kind of take the helms for a Godzilla movie. He's already done a giant monster movie, so I think he'd be an interesting one to take. I just wish,
if he's a Kong guy, he can't do Godzilla, just like J.J. Abrams can't do freaking Star Wars because he's a Star Trek guy. Like, I don't think that's a hill I'll die on. I think
I know you will. No,
because he'd come in and he would make Godzilla look like a punk.
I mean, I don't necessarily think so, but like I said, it'd be curious to see what he would do. I still wish we could have gotten a movie. I don't know who would have directed it, but I know I would have been with the puppetry and animatronics of Jim Henson. I would have loved to have seen what could have been done if they did their own Godzilla movie, but still in the style of Japan, using a suit and everything and miniatures and all that. I think that could have been phenomenal. At least for the special effects. The story might have been shit, but the effects could have been phenomenal with that.
Can we go back to that era? Can somebody just
rewind time?
Well, or just reestablish the Jim Henson Company?
I mean, they're still active-ish, but you don't have the brain behind it.
No, yeah.
Uh-oh, you just pissed off Tuscan Bob.
What?
Like, did you just say? He said, "Did you just say JJ was a Star Trek guy?"
Oh.
Hell no.
Whoopsies.
Let me get to some of these other comments too, because Internet Crusader was saying, speaking of Kojima, I couldn't fucking watch the Game Awards. The narcissism was bad enough. Keeley getting bricked up over Kojima. As soon as Jordan Peele walked on stage, I noped the fuck out. We might watch the trailer for his new game.
Which is it? Which one?
Oh, I forgot the hell it's called. It's something like Kojima has his head up his own ass. But then, I mean, hey, what director doesn't at this point? Or creative or whatever. OD. And Jordan Peele is apparently a part of it. I don't trust it. And I don't trust Kojima anymore anyway. So, and Crusader following up. And I just had, I had just typed out my Kojima comment right before you said it on stream. I'm like, oh, gotcha. Well, it comes in pretty quick for me. They found out that rage baiting fans draws more attention. That's to the Disney and fan base stuff. Yeah. And also, it really needs to see creatives that recognize that the fans are really the ones who drive sales, not critics. Well, I mean, I know myself. We hyped up, or at least I was hyping up Godzilla. We reviewed the trailer and everything. So, and I think that's where a lot of it was coming from. It's like from the fan base itself was really pumping the movie out. That's why they said they didn't do a lot of marketing. I think they relied on maybe the fans too. Star Wars Marvel purist in the house. How's it going? I gotta check out more of your channel, dude, because I've been seeing your stuff popping in. I just gotta filter through everything and get to it. Saying Return of the Jedi is nostalgic for me. The first one I was old enough to watch and understand. Keep grinding, Fractured Filter. Gotta do the fam thing. Yep. 100%, brother. We got Crimson Raptors hot take of Spider-Man 2 greater than 1. Internet Crusader saying Terminator 2 opened the door for the infinitely recursive bullshit that is the rest of the Terminator series. Oh yeah. Well, that was the problem. Was that what I heard was that James Cameron left it in the hands of Schwarzenegger and said, if you want to do more movies, you absolutely can. And that was a huge mistake right there. Because yes, he did more freaking sequels. And they just should have left with they should have done in the ending, the actual ending. It's a deleted scene now, but they had an actual ending filmed. Should have just gone with that. And they're absolute shit. The further you go, they all disrespect John Connor, and each one does it worse and worse. I have not watched any other Terminator movies beyond Terminator Salvation. Terminator Salvation was the last one and the only one that I have watched. It's not bad. Like, it's not horrible. It's kind of not. I kind of like the idea of getting a look at the wrecked future that should technically at this point be erased, but thank you, Terminator 3, for making that apparently an inevitability. But yeah, I have not watched the other two that they put out, and after what I heard with the latest one where they outright kill John Connor. Well, no, don't they kill him in both movies? But I have not watched any of those. Oof. Tuscan Bob saying if Pacino read a phone book for 3 hours, it would be an improvement over Heat 1. Oof. And people often forget that in the very first Godzilla, his mother was the killer. And bent up dick snatch is not con. I agree. Good old Ricardo Montalban is. Even my dog agrees. That cumber snatch is not con. So we agree. I agree. And
you didn't like what you had to
I
say.
know. I've seen them all. Says Internet Crusader. Salvation wasn't bad at all, but felt off. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that was kind of the goofy thing. Terminator 3, John Connor's wife sent the Terminator to save them. Yeah, I don't like Terminator 3. I try to ignore it. Man, he's just barking up a storm today. I'll try and adjust my gain so hopefully he's not coming through. Oh, God. Oh, Genesis, he became the bad guy. That's right. And then the last one, whatever, Terminator No Way Home. I don't know. they outright kill him in the beginning of the movie. Fook Norris, what's going on? Saying, welcome to Fantasy Island. The plane. Oh, Dark Fate, that was it. And Dark Fate, they literally just fucking murdered him in the first 5 minutes, then proceed to sob story him repeatedly throughout. God. Here's the. So let's see what to go into next. I don't. Did you watch any of the Deadpool movies?
Marvel's just so terrible. Yes, I did watch the first one.
You watched the first one? Okay.
Yeah,
And you
where
know
he
there's a
had,
third
love
one being
affair with
made.
the old
You
lady.
know there's a third one being made, right?
Is the first one with Gina Carano?
Yeah.
Okay, I did watch it.
Yeah. I guess recently they've been, because of like leaked footages or images and whatnot, Ryan Reynolds took to X and was having a bit of fun himself, which personally I think. So he says Deadpool began with a leak, so I'm joining in, but please don't overuse the phrase Deadpool leaks because it might screw up search results if anyone is looking for Deadpool leaks or Deadpool spoilers or perhaps Deadpool scoops. And he started putting out these images himself. And honestly, I think these are going to end up being funnier than like the movie itself. I got to say, like, some of them aren't bad. These are all ones he put out himself.
Oh.
I like it. Wally, lower the cue cards. You got Urkel dancing right off to the side there. So, like it is, I have no personal hopes for Deadpool 3. After 2, the mess that freaking movie was, these will probably be the best thing that comes out of it. Was just Ryan Reynolds posting the memes.
He is hilarious.
So, this is a quick little in between everything. Yeah. So let's see what will I can close that now. I got so many tabs open. Jesus. Oh, I know. That's a little heavy right now. Let's not go into that.
Can't be heavier than freaking the Acolyte.
Oh, I just saw it. Star Wars Marvel of Pierce, if you're still there, I just saw how it popped up on YouTube that you had a chapter 2 book review of Darth Plagueis. I'll have to check those out and hear what you have to think, what you think of them. So, thanks to the Game Awards, at least this is where it certainly dropped afterwards. Oh God, I hope that's not an American trailer. Anyway, how many of the Dragon Ball Z games have you played?
Oh boy.
I guess I should ask, did you ever play the Dragon Ball like Budokai and Budokai Tenkaichi games?
The one where he's on Nimbus, the front covers when he's floating on.
No,
Nimbus
that was the Kakarot game.
Okay.
Can't
remember. I've played them before,
no, like
but I don't know if I played
Budokai Tenkaichi games were like on the PlayStation 2. They kind of had a little more of that, like kind of big arena battles that you could do.
Okay, yeah.
And they announced this a while ago, which was the Sparking Zero, and they put out a trailer for it last night. I thought, or the night of the award show, and I thought we could take a peek. What say ye?
Yes. Always down for Dragon Ball Z. You kidding me?
All right.
Nice.
That's better. Okay. There we go. You can hear it? My only question is if this is actual gameplay. Actual gameplay.
That looks like
it,
it's
it says this is
that looks like
it says this is an announcement trailer, so I'm kind of skeptical.
That looks like the episode where Kakarot, like end of season 1, where he fights freaking Vegeta. Almost.
Yeah, they're recreating the original battle between Goku and Vegeta. That's what they're.
Yeah.
Oops.
Tremble before my power! I'll show you the horrors of hell. Now perish alone with its planet!
You got Broly even. I mean, it is just an announcement trailer. I thought there was gonna at least get a little more out of that. If this is all just taken from the game itself, visually it looks good. My problem is what it's gonna be going on with like the story mode and stuff like that.
They should never have done Dragon Ball.
Got some of the OG.
What came after Dragon Ball Z?
GT? Dragon Ball Super?
No. Super. They should never have done Super.
I agree.
If they're going to end it, they should have just ended it on Dragon Ball Z. But they could have gone longer with Dragon Ball Z.
Honestly, that's a pretty cool shot of Cell there. Also, I kind of like how they got where is it? I had it on there for a moment. It's kind of cool to see Trunks in the Saiyan armor too. Not that I don't like this look. No.
I was gonna say, is that what you look?
Oh, they got the they got the super characters in here too.
Yeah, see, I just can't. I don't like Super.
I'm not a fan either. But they're showing all. I mean,
they bring Piccolo back to life.
Well, yeah, but they're not gonna. I mean, they got Yamcha in here. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah.
Yamcha's the Kenny of South Park. He always dies.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like, I liked the 10K games back in the day, but personally, I like, and I know this is probably just gonna be more retread of the.
Well, that's the thing.
More retread of the regular arcs of it'll start at Saiyan, and it'll go to it'll go through the whole thing up until it'll probably skip GT, probably go into Super, and maybe do like some of the movies here and there. But
is it just me? Give me your honest opinion. Is it just me, or are we living in a generation where we lack creativity?
Yes.
Let me give you an example.
I'll easily say yes to that.
Give you an example, right? So you and I grew up watching WWF, right? Back in the day where, it's WWF, get the F out.
Yeah.
World Wildlife
turned into WWE.
Right? Yeah. And so back in the day, I mean, and here's the thing, the Attitude Era, one of the greatest eras of all time within wrestling, right? And I would love to get Tim's opinion on this. But the point I'm trying to make is, back in the day, WWF was amazing. They created all this content, and it was just amazing content. And now we've come to the point in time where we have to basically plunge up old stuff from the past and keep using the stuff from the past,
right,
to entertain ourselves in the present, right? And I feel like this is also with games, with like Dragon Ball Z. Like, again, it's subjective because maybe there are people who like Super. I think Super's trash. I've not watched Super, but I can tell you right now, Super's trash. It's never going to hold a candle.
I've never been a good.
to-
I've never been a fan of what they've been doing with Super.
Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like we always go back to the past to.
Well, I would just like them to
entertain us.
maybe give some focus or some attention to Dragon Ball, not Z, but Dragon Ball at the very beginning. And supposedly this game is meant to be like the biggest roster that we've ever had. And I'm even going to bring up.
This is. You don't think this is reminiscent of the old 2004 games?
No, they are. Like I said, they're picking up after like Tenkaichi 4 or whatever. And that's basically where it's supposed to be branching from my understanding. But I have an article here.
Crusader has a good point. He's got some good points here. I don't know if you want to catch up on the chat.
Let me just go through this first really quick. And
Yeah,
we'll
go
get
through
into
it.
the chat.
But I guess I'll just end my point on this. I feel like we always go back to the past to make stuff in the present that
that's the thing with people always rebooting or even just like adapting books to movies and stuff like that. It's not relying on any real self creativity. It's just leeching off the past, leeching off of what's already been created by somebody else.
Yeah, rebooting and leeching. I mean, you've said it perfectly, and that's what I feel like we see, right? Anytime you use Dragon Ball, you immediately think of Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball. No, I don't think of GT, but it's like Dragon Ball Z. It's like Star Wars. It's the the prequels and the original trilogy. WWE. They're taking all these people from the past and bringing them in now because they can't. So I don't know. It's just
I get what you're saying. But
maybe I'm crazy. But
Dragon Ball Sparking Zero announced a new Budokai sequel. So I guess Budokai Tenkaichi, whatever. Publisher Bandai Namco and developer Spike Chunsoft has announced Dragon Ball Sparking Zero new sequel to the beloved Budokai Tenkaichi series. It is in development for Windows PC via Steam, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, though a release date wasn't announced. Quote, this is the Dragon Ball fighting game players have been waiting for, bringing a new sequel for one of the most beloved games series based on the franchise to a new generation of players, said Mike Chang, VP Marketing and Digital Business, Bandai Namco Entertainment America, Inc. Further quote, it has been more than 15 years since Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi pioneered arena brawlers. Oh, arena brawler. Okay, there we go. And Dragon Ball Sparking Zero continues the legacy while adding new genre-defining features made possible only with the latest game platforms to deliver one of the most immersive anime game experiences of all time. Here's a rundown on the game, plus its reveal trailer, which we already watched the reveal trailer. I kind of fudged up the order in which to go with this, but whatever. So here's Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, the first entry to the Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi series is more than years at the Game Awards. The debut trailer, which showcased in-game, okay, so that is in-game footage, not just like cutscenes or anything like that, but in-game footage, revealed a visually stunning, authentic continuation of the Budokai Tenkaichi series, alongside faithful recreations of legendary characters and their special powers as they fight epic battles on massive and destructible fighting arenas. And that was always kind of the cool thing, was the destructible environments in which you were fighting. And that was kind of the draw for that.
Yeah.
Developed by Spike Chunsoft, the developers behind the original Budokai Tenkaichi series. Interesting. The Sparking Zero brings the series forward to a new era by harnessing the power of Unreal Engine 5 and pushing the envelope for gameplay and features in an arena brawler. Dragon Ball also brings the franchise back to the original Japanese naming convention, where the original Budokai Tenkaichi was titled Dragon Ball Z Sparking. I guess the American release was the Budokai Tenkaichi. The game's gravity-defying fights promise to shake the earth, break the heavens, with each Dragon Ball character's signature destructive powers and key abilities showcased in stunning detail, with damage capable of destroying, entire parts of the arena. So, yeah, and we already watched the trailer, so we know what's up with that. There's a part of me that's like cool, but I feel like I do still need to see a little bit more, because like I saw that trailer was neat and all, but I'm just like,
That doesn't look like a proper trailer,
well, yeah, more or less. I like it is like
in my opinion.
I would want to see more gameplay out of it, like proper gameplay, to maybe make a decision, and also to find out where they're going with the story mode. Because yes, I play a game for story mode.
I think, yeah, it's just got a crap story.
Well, see, that's what I like the Dragon Ball Xenoverse games, because while they were going back through the normal storyline that we know, they were throwing in little curveballs here and there, which I think they could have gotten a little more imaginative with. I think that's where they kind of dropped the ball. But I like the aspect of it, and especially I like that I got to create a character of my own. I think that's kind of maybe a direction to take things in, is the kind of maybe, yeah, I get to create my OC, don't steal.
Yeah.
I want my fan fiction, damn it. No, but I like the idea of alternate timelines and stuff like that. I thought it could have been a neat idea. It's already kind of built into the fabric of Dragon Ball Z, thanks to Trunks from the future coming to their timeline and realizing, oh shit, all we've done is create separate timelines. I've not actually changed my future. My future is still fucked, but but it's like he had the chance then to help correct theirs and not let it go to ruin. So it was very early.
Over all this time, I'm over this whole time travel crap nonsense.
I understand that, but since like I said, it's kind of baked into Dragon Ball a little bit, it had a potential to be a fun and interesting and maybe fresh way to kind of do new takes on the franchise. But everybody wants the usual things, so I am the minority in those thoughts. So, oh well, no big deal. But yeah, I mean, I'd have to see a little more from this game, and I like.
So, is this a trailer or is it a?
It's an announcement trailer, but like they said that it is using, in-game footage. It's showcasing in-game footage, but like I said, more proper. Like this is definitely, very. What's the word I'm looking for? Very staged, very performative in-game footage where they set up the perfect scenarios for everything to play out on screen. So I would personally need to see actual gameplay and what they're doing with the other stuff of the game. Like
literally taking from season 1,
right?
The fight between Vegeta.
And that was at least the cool thing about Dragon Ball Fighters, was that they did a whole new storyline, completely brand new. And that was great. I thought that was great. I wish the roster was a little more expansive and everything, but I still think they did a good job with the aspect of the storyline.
Yeah.
And they even created new characters for it. So, or a new character.
Even for a trailer, I feel like with the trailer, we need more.
I agree.
We should get more.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, we'll give you a 2-minute trailer.
Yeah, it was
for a minute.
It was a minute 03. Looked like it is some pretty.
But here's the thing, because this is my kind of, and I could be completely off base with this, but because of Dragon Ball Z, people can watch a 45-second trailer and people are going to buy it because of the loyalty, the fan loyalty.
Yeah, and like I said, there were some cool visuals going on and everything. I won't have the volume up right now since we already played it. But I mean, for what they're showing off, it does look good. It looks impressive, but it's a good to go with the cell shaded look for especially an anime game. It kind of fits for it.
Yeah.
And I just, like I said, I just hope it's not such a retread. I would just like a little more attention to original Dragon Ball, please. I mean, if you're gonna make it like this kind of fighter, that should be no problem. They did creative ways of bringing in Dragon Ball characters in the original Tenkaichi games. So I'd be very curious to see that. I'd like to see that because as much as I like Dragon Ball Z and everything, I would like to go back to where it all started.
Do you think they'll do that or no?
I don't think so. No, they'll probably start in Z.
Why?
Because the Saiyan Saga and stuff, and it's much more popular with the fan base than going back to originals.
Yeah, probably. I agree. I would agree with you.
All right, now I'll catch up with some of those chats. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Okay. Crimson Raptor had said, is 3 even canon anymore? Last I heard, Dark Fate retconned everything after 2. Yeah, a lot of retconning happened with the Terminator series. None of it is canon because the glory of time travel. Yeah, like you were saying, Hitman, the time travel is getting a little obnoxious. And so, yeah, it doesn't matter. Crimson Raptor saying Tenkaichi was awesome. They were fun as hell. Internet Crusader was saying the environmental graphics just look weirdly uncanny to me. A little bit. I know, especially when you have, because they need to make the scenery, the background scenery, look a little more like the rest of like the character models, because I think that's just it. The world looks like it's meant to be kind of interpreted as real life ish. Well, not real life, but like different texture techniques and the way they present Goku and Vegeta in these environments with their bright clothing and the cel-shaded look on them. Like, there doesn't have that same effect on the environment, just on them. So that's where I think where you're getting that weird uncanniness from.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, everyone can come back to life thanks to the power of Dragon Balls.
And Marvel.
Yeah, and Marvel. I don't think we lack creativity per se. I think that corporate interests are so strong that they demand brand safety. The entertainment industry is wildly risky. Yeah, nobody's willing to take the risks anymore. I agree. But I do also think it is also just a lack. I mean, I guess that they go hand in hand, right? Lack of creativity and the whole playing it safe. They aren't willing to allow any real creativity flow because they just want to keep it safe. They want to try and go
I would
with what
agree.
works.
I would agree somewhat with that, with the exception of Disney and Lucasfilm, because I just don't think they're creative at all. I don't think they know what the word is. So in some instances, yes, I agree. Disney, absolutely not. They're just idiots. Just lack creativity.
Intercator just sent this meme. Hang on, let me get it. Hang on, this is it. Oh, god dang it. Here, let me pop us over here. Let's fight somewhere empty. The girl's head.
That's funny.
Well played. Well played. That's like so many of those fights too. We'll fight somewhere completely empty. We got it better. Somebody's head. People don't realize how wildly profits can swing from one product to the next. Only the most massively popular products are borderline quote unquote guaranteed to make money, but at what cost? Yeah. Tragedy of modern Halo, for example. 4 is fucking shit despite being the best selling Halo of all time. Name brand recognition sells. Quality keeps them coming back for more. Well, and that's the same thing with Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 that came out on PS5. I have to be specific. The PS5 Spider-Man 2. Still sold like over 5 million copies. The story's freaking shit, but it's still sold. And I hold everybody that bought it accountable, because they not only fed Insomniac, but they have fed another beast, which we will talk about in a bit. But yeah. And God, what I mean, the Call of Duty series is still sold despite declining storylines and quality of that sort of stuff. So yeah, I mean, like you say, brand recognition sells, no doubt. Z is when iconic stuff really began. I mean, yeah, certainly like Super Saiyan and stuff like that. But like, I've gone through, I've watched, I've reread the original Dragon Ball, and I just love the story so much. And I love the Tenkaichi scenarios and fights that goes on, and how Master Roshi was teaching Krillin and Goku, and why he thought it was so important that, they couldn't win their first tournaments out. They needed to be beaten by somebody more talented, better, and everything like that. So I think there's a lot of great moments, even, and then it builds up to you get the introduction of characters like Tien Shin Han. You even have Goku kind of getting that moment of reuniting with his grandpa and Grandpa Gohan, and then him taking on the Red Ribbon Army is pretty great. And the Red Ribbon Army lasts for so long too, it feels like.
I'm gonna send you something, and I want to play this because I think this is really cool.
Yeah.
If we can,
no
if we have time.
Oh,
if we
yeah.
don't.
I mean, yeah. But also I just love and then it like builds up to Piccolo, the original Piccolo, being brought in, and just what that starts to introduce, and him spitting out eggs, and that was like Krillin's first death and everything.
I put in the store in the notes, show notes. I don't know where this is from, but I watched it, and it's Japanese dub version. I don't know.
Hang on. Oh. Whoops. I screwed up. Hang on. I gotta let the stupid commercial play first. Oh, this is from Super.
Okay, well then never mind.
Okay,
I watched it. Is it then?
Yeah, it's from it's the Universe tournament.
Okay, never mind then. Disregard. I just like the Japanese, how he's talking to them.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah, never mind then.
Yeah, it's like less goofy old man voice and more just a proper kind of voice.
Proper Japanese style.
There was some stuff that wasn't bad in that, but I just can't get into.
Well, I'm glad that you told me it was Super.
Internet is saying, I loved classic Dragon Ball. It's just fun and goofy. I mean, they have their serious moments in it too. And that's where he after beating Piccolo, he goes and meets Kami, who also looks like Piccolo. And you kind of get those revelations, and then how he has to be trained up and all that. And then the final fight with Piccolo Jr. And then he says, in terms of creativity, AA and indie is where it's at right now. You are finding a little more of that, yeah. I've been hearing about this Pizza Tower game. Pizza Tower is my personal game of the year. They got fucking robbed. I mean, a lot of people did. Gotta run. You have a good stream. Thanks for dropping by and hanging out, man. Much appreciated. The Game Awards show too is such a load of horse shit at this point. There's nothing to take seriously out of it. I certainly don't. I don't hold them as being some beacons of whatever, some arbiters of what's good, what's quality, and shit like that. Pizza Tower is Wario Land inspired game. Oh, interesting. Okay, I'll have to take a look. The art style is best summed up as over 9,000 hours in MS Paint. Okay, interesting. Again, I'll have to take a peek. I mean, personally, for me this year, it would just be the System Shock remake and the Mario RPG.
Starfield.
Oh, shut up. Both are remakes, but they do it well. They do it respectfully, and I just had a lot of fun playing them. I'm just at the end of the Mario RPG. The problem is though is that they did make the game way too easy. But I think in a way that might be kind of good for kids these days. Because let's face it, they're not up to our skill level when we were kids. They need the help.
Yeah.
So this I thought was a little interesting. We're kind of circling back towards Star Wars here. I don't know if you saw this cropping up on X at all. Although you don't really go on Twitter, X, or whatever, huh?
I just, until people start calling it Twitter again, I've boycotted.
All right. But I swear, bounding into comics, fix your shit. This is so goofy. But yeah, YouTuber The Critical Drinker joins Ben Shapiro to rank every Star Wars film, opinions over Rogue One divided. The title alone made me go, okay, interesting. Are you familiar with the YouTuber Critical Drinker at all?
I did see this on Twitter.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I did see this pop up. Did OG retweet this or something?
Maybe.
Or did
I know there. I saw it from. I think I saw it circling from a few people online.
Yeah, I did see this.
Briefly. But yeah, so are you familiar with Critical Drinker at all, or
no?
Okay,
I think I've heard of him.
Yeah, just like a quick Scottish dude. Reviews movies.
Scott's don't drink. What are you talking about?
Reviews movies mostly. He's an author. He's public. He has his own books published and stuff like that. Working on them. He's making a movie of his book series. Trying to do it independently. And this is kind of a weird world. Like I put in the title. It's like when worlds collide. I feel like this is one of those sort of moments when you have somebody more known for being on the internet versus somebody like Ben Shapiro. Have your opinions on either or that you will. I thought this was kind of an interesting thing. So let's get into the article. So there is no better way to get to know another Star Wars fan than by asking them for their definitive best to worst ranking of the franchise's films. And recently, YouTuber Critical Drinker linked up with the Daily Wire's Ben Shapiro to do just that.
I don't know how you do that. That's insane.
It's a little weird. Shapiro might be trying to make moves to maybe finally get their brand a little more in the pop culture realm, and I think they've been doing that slowly but surely. But so meeting on the latter's personal YouTube channel, the pair of culture commentators each provided their own individual ranking of the galaxy far, far away's cinematic outings. According to Shapiro, His read of the once beloved sci-fi series offering shook out as number 1, Empire Strikes Back, 2, A New Hope, 3, a Rogue One. That's already where you're out of my rankings there, Shapiro. You're shit. Not surprised though. 4, Return of the Jedi, because Rogue One is not a Star Wars movie. Return of the Jedi, number 4, Revenge of the Sith, number 5. No, Revenge of the Sith goes higher. That takes the place of Rogue One for sure, if not higher. Attack of the Clones, number 6. Solo, number 7. Phantom Menace, number 8. Rise of Skywalker, Force Awakens, and Last Jedi are all in the last in those rankings. I just disregard. There's only 6 Star Wars.
Read those again. So he's saying.
So according to Ben Shapiro, at the top of the list, number 1 going to number 11. Number 1 is Empire Strikes Back, A New Hope, Rogue One, Return of the Jedi, Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones, Solo, not. The Phantom Menace, Rise of Skywalker, Force Awakens, and Last Jedi.
First of all, the sequel should not be in the same ballpark or same sentences.
No, none of the Disney Star Wars movies should ever be included with this.
This list needs to be probably either Empire or Revenge of the Sith. Either 1 and 2. Whoa, okay, let's do this. What is yours? Because I immediately like Rogue One. He might as well put Solo in that one. Why didn't he put Solo? Oh, he did put Solo. Why he really put Solo in that?
Put it on the list.
Wow. That was so bad.
I'd probably say my top 2 at this it'd be my top 3 would probably be I might do Revenge of the Sith number 1, Return of the Jedi number 2, Empire Strikes Back 3, A New Hope, Phantom Menace, and then Attack of the Clones.
I don't know, man.
I'm not big. I mean, there's like I've seen Attack of the Clones in a different light here and there, but I would not.
Okay, let me ask you this: did you watch it after you read the book? Because the book brings.
No, I watched it first, and then I eventually got to the book, and I do think the book adds a lot more context to things.
Yeah, I had to say probably Revenge. I'm sorry, Empire, Revenge. That's tough. Definitely Empire Strikes Back, Revenge of the Sith. Probably. I mean, you can't beat Vader. I mean, Vader and Luke, the battle. I mean,
yeah, the final battle and everything. Absolutely.
The final battle. I mean, oh man, that's tough. I definitely, I know what my 1 and 2 are. My 1 is Empire Strikes Back, and my 2 is Revenge of the Sith, because you can't beat that. 3, it would have to be either Return of the Jedi. I mean, but A New Hope's great too, man. Like that's when you first get. I don't know. What did you say? You said Revenge of the Sith, Empire.
No, Revenge of the Sith, Return of the Jedi, and Empire Strikes Back.
They're your top 3.
Yeah,
I'd say so too. I'd say Empire's my favorite.
Although I'm almost kind of torn between like putting A New Hope in that place of in the top 3, because A New Hope started it all. So it's almost like it gets it almost gets like a degree of extra significance.
So we're the same, just the numbering's different. So I would go Empire Strikes Back, Revenge of the Sith, and probably A New Hope if I had to choose my top 3. You're saying Revenge of the Sith, Empire, A New Hope.
No, I'm saying Revenge, Return, and
okay.
I'm bouncing between Empire and A New Hope for number 3.
How can you leave Empire? I mean, this is I guess the beauty of just differences, but like why is Return higher than Empire for you?
Because of that's the end of the whole saga for Anakin Skywalker. That's where it all culminates. He returns. He redeems himself in especially in the eyes of Luke, who I think that was the most important part for even Vader. It's the end of the Empire to a degree.
from a certain
point of view. But no, it's all that is going on, just especially in that last the last fight, and just Luke coming back from that brink of, because he just gets so enraged for that split moment, attacking Vader when he threatens Leia. And and then just Luke standing up to the most powerful person in the universe, old Palpatine himself, that says no. He and this is actually where it's meaningful that he threw his lightsaber aside, and he proudly says, "I'm a Jedi, like my father before me."
I would have,
and then that's
killed him.
And Palpatine just goes into kill mode. Well, to a degree, he's still trying to turn him. Like, he's not full on killing Luke, but he's still trying to turn him at the same time. But then that's where the Anakin side, or whatever you want to call it, he finally comes to terms with everything and grabs Palpatine and throws him down that damn shaft.
I don't know, man. I just had fond memories of was it Admiral I'm drawing a blank. He promoted him after he killed Admiral Hollis. Hosel. He killed Admiral Hosel, and then he promoted the other guy. What's the other guy's name?
I don't know who you're referring to.
In the beginning of Empire Strikes Back, he's like he kills the Admiral for going on a light speed too quickly, and then he promotes the other guy. But
yeah, I don't remember the exact name of the individual.
Anyways, but he comes in and he sees Vader. He comes into where Vader's meditation chamber is, and then you see the helmet coming down, and you can see the white, the back of Vader's head and all the scars and everything. That was a moment when I was a kid where I used to get like just goosebumps, because like, oh, what actually, because this was before we even saw Revenge. We had Revenge of the Sith, so it leaves you wondering like what happened to him. Well, who's this mysterious figure? Why is he got all these scars that haven't healed on the back of his head? But then you have the bridge scene when you have the Black Sun and Bosk, and I don't know if IG
IG-88 was there.
Was that okay? IG-88 and Boba, and before Tomorrow Morrison.
Before they had Tamara Morrison do the.
Before this, you had the actual guy who played, Boba Fett and his voice. There's just so many. So there's so many complexities to Empire that makes it great. I remember even the beginning where they're going into, they infiltrate Hoth Base, and Vader comes in through the snow, and you see him and the snow troopers, and
no, I know there's a lot of great visuals to that movie. I don't get me wrong, I do like it very much. I just personally prefer,
for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But it's even before Ian McDiarmid played. We got
that weird face Palpatine.
And then just Vader trying to, going after Luke, and then he's like, reveals to him, he's like, Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father. He's like, you told me enough. You killed him. You told me you killed him. He's like, no,
I am your father.
Your father. And that moment where like, just so I mean, the way but that's the beautiful about having our differences. You sit there and I agree everything you're saying about Revenge, by the way, I agree with, but for whatever reason, I guess Empire's always, I don't know, I've always held so
all right, so we're both agreed Shapiro's list is complete garbage.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know why him being so conservative, I don't even know why he would freaking put the sequels on there. Like,
I think maybe just for the sake of going through all of the movies.
But they're not.
But I mean, no, I agree. You said the sequels. You weren't saying Disney movies in general. So, I mean, I say, you shouldn't have included Rogue One or Solo. Those are not proper Star Wars.
No, and neither is 7, 8, and 9.
Let's continue on. So, meanwhile, in the drinker's opinion, the films are ranked as Empire Strikes Back being number 1, A New Hope at number 2. Number 3, we have Return of the Jedi. Number 4, Revenge of the Sith. 5, Rogue One, 6 Attack of the Clones, 7 Solo. Is that kind of the same for the same for the both of them? But he ranks Attack of the Clones. They both have Attack of the Clones and Solo the same. 8 Phantom Menace, 9 Force Awakens, 10 Rise of Skywalker. So that's basically the same. Rise of Skywalker, Last Jedi. Again, including the Disney movies. I by default declassify these lists as being anything proper. But I mean, he at least didn't have Rogue One so high up there.
He probably put, if I'm a betting man, which I'm not, but if I was, I'd bet the fact that he put Rogue One up there because of the two scenes, the scene where Vader's in the back to tank and the minute 20-second
Shapiro
or Shapiro.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, Shapiro. The Vader in the back to tank, and then maybe the Krennic scene with Vader. Maybe that's why he did it. But I know I've heard a lot of people say that the best part of that movie was the minute 20 that we got out of Vader just slaughtering.
Slaughtering the rebels.
Trying to get to Tandem 5.
So let's see. As The Empire Strikes Back and A New Hope are the most commonly cited top Star Wars films, both Shapiro and Critical Drinker admitted that their placements on their respective lists were predictable and deserved. However, their first point of contention arose when it came to Shapiro's slotting of Rogue One above Return of the Jedi for the third place spot on his podium. Yeah, that's some absolute shit right there. So, quote, here I have sort of an internal battle, admitted Shapiro. I love Return of the Jedi. The second half of Revenge of the Sith is great. First half is a little bit of a mess. I do have a peculiar liking for Rogue One. I think that Rogue One is a good piece of content, so I'm have to decide between those three, and it sort of varies based on the day, so I'm gonna go with Rogue One. That's a shit reason. As for the drinker, he placed Return of the Jedi in third, noting that while he had grievances over those Ewok things, the big emotional payoffs that results from Luke's duel with Vader aboard the Death Star, which we just talked about, was well worth it in the end. He also placed Revenge of the Sith in fourth, citing its well-known feature of being, quote, the most mature and definitely like darkest in terms of emotional tone of the entire series. The younglings might agree. But I can't, for one, the reason why I personally put Revenge of the Sith so high is its soundtrack. Like, I think that it's almost kind of peak John Williams. Like, there's some of the best tracks in Revenge of the Sith that especially just have been used so well. I think also it goes into just being used so well in the audiobooks, especially for like Darth Bane and everything. But in general, just amazing score. I love it. I mean, all the Star Wars movies have great tracks. I mean, I should say the original 6, the proper George Lucas movies have amazing score for all those movies.
I don't know if you can play this thing I just sent to Discord, but do it after this article. It's absolutely hilarious.
But yeah, so I don't know why that hasn't been mentioned yet. For slot 6, Shapiro and Critical Drinker found common ground in Attack of the Clones, with Shapiro praising the contributions to the film by the late and famed actor Christopher Lee, whose performance he described as incredible, and Count Dooku as an unappreciated hero of the Star Wars universe. Unsurprisingly, when it came to add Disney's prequel trilogy films to the mix, both Shapiro and Drinker, like respective fans of theirs would expect, threw them in the absolute bottom of their rankings. Should have never been included to begin with. In particular, Shapiro took issue with Han Solo's death in The Force Awakens. Excuse me. opining to his guest, quote, "The killing of Han Solo is unforgivable. It's legitimately unforgivable." Well, that's a lot of people's feelings of it. Personally, I was not surprised by it. I agree with everyone's sentiment that it should not have happened. But
he should have died in Return of the Jedi.
Well, that was what Harrison Ford wanted. Harrison Ford wanted out much sooner. And the fact that
wanted as much as Harrison did. Or wait, well, I'm sorry. Did you said George wanted him out? Or
no, I said that wrong, sorry. Harrison wanted to be out of the movies.
Oh, for sure.
Since Return of the Jedi. And when they killed him off in Force Awakens, it was no surprise. In fact, I remember, I think I've told this story. It's like I hadn't gotten to see it yet, and a coworker of mine had, and I asked her, "So what do you think?" She said she liked it for Force Awakens, and she said there's like one big death in the movie. I'm like, let me guess. It was Han Solo. And she admitted, yeah, it was. I'm like, yeah, of course it was. He was wanted out for a long time. Does not surprise me. And I mean, they telegraphed it, but I mean, like at the same time, if anything, I knew that would have been it. Harrison finally got his wish. Further, Shapiro noted that not only has he not shown his children the aforementioned film, but that instead he has been, quote, reading them the Timothy Zahn novels where Han lives and Luke gets married to Mara Jade's, and Mara Jade's in them. Well, kudos to you for doing that, Shapiro. They should have just done that. They should have just done all the Thrawn stuff, which now they're trying to do in Ahsoka, he asserted, adding that in his opinion, Force Awakens and Rise of Skywalker director Jar Jar Abrams was, quote, the most derivative director working today. What critical drinker and Shapiro seemed to be most united on when it comes to Disney trilogy was its original sin of tossing out the old IP of the former expanded universe and starting a brand new narrative venture rather than utilizing the established stories of such popular EU creations as Darth Bane, Plagueis, or Grand Admiral Thrawn, all of which Shapiro claimed would have been better starting points for a reboot of Star Wars than rehashing the Rebels vs. Empire plotline and killing off the franchise's classic characters. Their time together concludes with both Shapiro and Drinker placing The Last Jedi as the absolute bottom of their list, finding the sequel trilogy's sophomore outing was both demoralizing and evidence that director Rian Johnson does not like his audience and thinks his audience is a bunch of rubes and morons. Of course, as any Star Wars fan knows from experience, one's personal ranking of the films are likely to shift over time as the fan changes their perception of certain entries may change as well. In 2019, Ben Shapiro's outlook on the franchise looked a bit different. Following the release of episode 9? I get confused by Roman numerals sometimes. Yes, 9. In December 2019, the conservative commentator tweeted, just saw Rise of Skywalker. Everyone is wrong. The movie is mostly nostalgia-packed joy. If you love the original Star Wars, you should be grateful to Jar Jar Abrams for attempting to right his own wrongs in Force Awakens and the travesty that is Last Jedi. Kick yourself in the nuts, Shapiro. In a follow-up, Shapiro also updated his personal rankings of the entire series, explaining that in light of his recent movie-going experiences, list read Empire, New Hope, Rogue One, Revenge, Return, Rise of Skywalker, Solo, Force Awakens, Attack of the Clones, Last Jedi, and Phantom Menace. That was his list when he talked about Rise of Palpatine. As one can see, Shapiro's view of both Rise of Skywalker and its director has diminished since 2019. His rankings of the film dropped a full 3 spots from 6 to 9. Phantom Menace, however, moved up from the bottom of the barrel to being Shapiro's 8, coming right in after Solo. Such is life of a Star Wars fan. So yeah, like I said, weird little colliding of worlds right there for these two, and ranking the Star Wars movies that we fundamentally disagree with some of them.
And I typically agree with Ben Shapiro on a lot of stuff, but I send him an email, be like, dude, what are you smoking over there? Like, you're not in California. I don't think he's in California anymore. I think he's moved, but yeah, that's just, I don't know. Here's the thing. Somebody's going to watch this and be like, you guys are wrong. It was Star Wars. They were listing all the Star Wars movies, and Disney is Star Wars, so get your stuff right. And from our point of view, it's like, well, Disney's not Star Wars, so go.
And George himself said it.
Yeah, not my opinion.
Do I have to re-upload that clip?
No, it's like not my opinion, his. So like, go take it up with him. He's the creator of it. So yeah, and Rogue One. Yeah, I mean, if you're just doing straight the 6 movies, yeah. But Rogue One, terrible. Solo, atrocious. Sequels are just asinine.
Yep. Agreed.
And it's a lot. So 1 through 6 would be so much easier because it's like it'd be Empire, Revenge, A New Hope. Probably Return of the Jedi, Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace, I'd say. Because really, Phantom Menace, it's a good movie, but it's like 3/4 of the movie is pod racing. Literally. So, Attack of the Clones is, it's good. It's
yes, it is where we got the introduction of Count Dooku, Christopher Lee playing the role and everything.
We get glimpses of Padme being robbing the cradle in Phantom Menace, and then goes full on, takes advantage of him in Attack of the Clones, and then they both are equally dipping their hands into the cookie jar in Revenge of the Sith.
Darn tootin' there.
Robbing the cradle. Somebody yelled at me one time because I said she's robbing the cradle. And she said, what do you mean robbing the cradle? Robbing the cradle, dude. The dude's like 10 and she was like 17.
Okay, but you went through that book, right?
Yeah. No, Terry Brooks.
Yeah, the Phantom Menace book.
No, not
go
yet.
Through it all?
No.
Oh.
I'm all the way through.
Dude, no, there's such a different perspective you get from that.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Like from my point of view, when going through that book, Anakin is dogging her hard.
Really?
Yes. Because he's even talking about more of his dreams and how, and he just kind of keeps, insinuating they're gonna be together. That's part of his dreams. They always come true. So yes, it's gonna happen.
That's funny.
And the thing is too, is because again, the actors Lucas really should have gotten somebody a little more closer to the age that was supposed to be, because it is they're supposed to be like 9 and 13, which isn't a big age gap.
In the book, because that homegirl was at least 17 when she ruled. I thought.
Natalie Portman portraying the character.
Yeah. No, I mean.
So yeah, they really should have found somebody a little closer to what was supposed to be.
No, I thought Padme was like actual Padme when Queen Amidala, when she was queen. I thought she was young. I thought she was like 17.
Yeah, she's supposed to be like 13
as the queen.
Yeah,
in the actual
in the Plagueis book they said how she's like the youngest queen and
youngest, but not 13.
Oh yeah, she was young. I think they had an even younger. They had Naboo had an even younger queen in that.
But she's still young though. That's still 13 and a 9-year-old. Come on, man. Like in Jewish law, in Jewish culture, that would have been like right on the money if they were reversed, because you're considered a woman at the age 12, and then a man you're like 13. So if that was the case, that they would have been adults. But 13-year-old and a 9-year-old, come on, bro.
No, go through the book. It's pretty funny because, like I said,
which is funny.
Anakin Anakin comes across as a little more aggressive.
Yeah, but like then you have like Snips was 20 years younger than Anakin, and she was going after Anakin. So I guess that's not too far. That's not bad.
So yeah, it's funny. You have to check that
How
out.
old was Ahsoka when she started going after Anakin in the Clone Wars?
I don't know, but yeah. So rankings. I think we've got a much better list personally.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Static was saying Rogue One is so fucking boring. It's been a long time since I've actually sat and watched through that movie, but I don't want to. So I'm just gonna go. Yes, you're right. It was boring. The only thing I did like was Alan Tudyk's when he was playing the droid. That was it. And also, he quotes you saying, "Oh, I only use Twitter." And Crimson Raptor says, "Empire, Revenge, Return, A New Hope, Phantom, Clones. That's the only canon, 100%." Chiefster, hello, saying garbage taste. Phantom Menace beaten by Solo. And the Crimson, Anakin wanted that cougar.
Mm-hmm.
Anakin very clearly had a type, and it was older women.
This is true.
This is very true.
Or did Padme have a thing for younger boys?
Ooh, questions, decisions. I don't know. That's a good thing to ponder. God. Crimson Raptor saying Ahsoka was 17, I think, when people started chanting Annie Soka. Ugh.
What did you, Annie Soka?
That's what he said. That's just wrong. And I'm probably willing to believe that they were doing that much sooner than that.
I mean,
There's a lot of weirdos out there.
Anybody who gives their friend a nickname of Snips is, there's something going on there.
Something is right.
And you never really saw it. Like, oh, no, I'm not touching it. Never mind.
Let's see here. So are you going to see the movie yet? Okay, so
yeah.
Dang it! I wanted to go over more things.
So it's 7:15. So
let me try and find. Dang it! Where is it? It's supposed to be a. Darn it.
Where is it?
I had something I was gonna kind of bring up because it kind of goes into a few things. But I'm not finding the clip.
Bookmark it.
I thought I did, but it appears I did not. God dang it. I dropped the ball.
What was it about?
It was about this comic store owner that was kind of he kind of does his own thing of Ariel, knock it off. And hello. Spartacus saying hello world. Hello, sir. This is bet on me. Ariel, come on, Fractured Claws. You're supposed to be on top of things, not like Fractured Filter. We all know he can't do things. Wow, you're on the list. All right, let me. But yeah. So while I'm trying to dig up this clip, I don't think I put it in the Discord. I did not. You did that. What is this? Instagram.
Which one?
It's this Instagram post.
Oh yeah, my brother sent it to me. I was crying laughing.
Oh, okay. I thought the guy had it on his, unless he hid it or something. But let me bring this up. So this was from Mark Millar. And he did an interview with this gentleman saying, I was so appalled at the way the comic retailer was being harassed and bullied by a digital mob this week, just for saying comic books are going in the wrong direction. I had to talk to him. Here's my interview with Glenn O'Leary from this afternoon. And I'm still trying to find the clip of him. But yeah, he's I believe a Massachusetts-based comic book store owner who, like I said, put out this video about, just the way the comic industry has gone into the state that it has. Let me grab his name. Hope I can try and find the clip. And yeah, he, like Millar there said, he did end up facing a lot of negative feedback for just stating a very basic opinion of what has become of the industry, what everybody's noticing, what even you were sharing that other comic company, and how there needs to be. Okay, here, he's a 30-year comic shop owner. So he's been in the business a good spell. I can't find anything. God damn it. Yeah, here's the video.
Most of these new writers don't have the love of comics like these older writers had. And all they care about is, how can I put myself in the book? No, we don't care what you would do if you were Iron Man. We don't care who you are. You're writing Tony Stark. You're not writing yourself in a book. If that's the case, write your own comic with you in it. No one will read it because nobody cares. People grew up, are growing up loving Peter Parker, loving Miles Morales, loving all these Captain America. We don't need you to put your input in it. Just write Steve Rogers. Don't write Steve Rogers. What would Steve Rogers be if I was Steve Rogers? That's not how it works. But that's again how most of these new people write nowadays. That's why most of the stuff is shit. Because we don't care what you would do, because we don't care about your life whatsoever. Just write a book, get paid for what you do, get paid for what you're supposed to be doing, and make it a good story.
I mean, other than the Miles Morales part, I fully agree with what he's saying here. That's basically become a lot of what people are doing. They're using and what's been pointed out by other, YouTubers and stuff like that. They take these characters, they use them as their own personal soapbox to tout their message, tout whatever they want. And like he says, they do it from their perspective of what they would do if they were the character. Basically, like it, and we've said this, like, just create your own fucking characters. Right. But again, they don't, because they want the quick line to success or the quick paycheck, the quick, whatever. And they aren't willing to spend the time to build a character of their own, and they just want to use pre-established characters as their own personal mouthpieces.
I was going to say that the mouthpiece and to push whatever agenda they deem needs to be pushed, or like DC or Marvel, whatever agenda they are currently trying to push.
Absolutely.
But
and it's gotten worse and worse with like retconning of established characters and stuff like that. Even there's been a lot of recent events for comics, in particular. Hang on. I guess the character of Moon Knight is even being replaced.
mm-hmm.
He's a Marvel character by, I guess, a sidekick of his or something like that. But
I heard he's
saw this thanks to Yellow Flash. It says, "LOL, Marvel killed off the old Moon Knight and replaced him with a black lesbian." He's only guessing she's a lesbian. But it's a good guess. And I guess it's a character named Reese or something. But that's happened. Not only that, try to see if there's a article on it as well. But I mean, there's just been so much goofy stuff with especially comics as of late. Some news interesting, some news it's like, what the freak. Let me find the other stuff. Yeah, like they've switched up Nightcrawler from the X-Men, his origin story, somehow making it possible for Mystique, who is only meant to change her shape, is then able to take the shape of a man, I guess, and then create sperm and impregnate a woman, thereby becoming Nightcrawler's dad. Even though that's not how that stuff is meant to work.
Wait, hold on, because it happened, with Omega.
Oh God!
Stop.
No, it's
that clip.
Just, which
Don't
clip?
Have questions. Just consume product. And get ready for more product. Please don't tell me you lost that.
I didn't lose it. I just don't have it on Restream.
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and prepare for more product.
I mean, you got it down pat. But no, it is just a sad state of things. It's why, I mean, there is some popularity gaining around these independent comic creators trying to put out things that with a better story, with a story to begin with, not so much using the megaphone, getting on the soapbox to project their own personal political stances and stuff like that. It's just meant to be, a fresh start, a fresh ability to tell stories, to create, mythologies and everything like that through these new comic books. Yeah. And, it's just it's just like another unfortunate state of just where everything.
Well, it's also interesting because it's like the writers that it's almost like, I think Marvel did a thing. I remember seeing it's like, what if?
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, a lot of companies have done that, right? The whole what if this happened versus what that. I mean, I'm pretty sure DC did stuff like that, right?
I don't know, maybe, and I'm just not aware of it. But I remember Marvel.
You just want to point the finger at Marvel.
No, because I don't think DC's done some dumb stuff, right? I'm not gonna sit there and say they haven't, but it's almost like these writers, they almost take that stance. It's like, well, what if Batman was a female, a lesbian, or what if Superman was bi, and it's right. Like, write the character the way the character was originally written. It doesn't mean you can't make your own like spin, but or tell it in the way that you want to tell it. But like, stop writing these stories to
appease yourself, or is that the right word? Don't write. It's like they write these stories for their own self gratification, and they want to write them in the way that, you know what I mean? Does that make any sense? It's like, just write the character, and if you want to create a character that is gay or homosexual or bi or whatever you like, then create that character, but don't take a character that is an established character and put your what if spin on it, because that's not how the character was written.
Like it says here, Marvel has just revealed the truth of Nightcrawler's parentage. It's now confirmed Mystique is actually Kurt Wagner's father, having used her shape-shifting abilities to become male and impregnate her longtime partner, Irene Adler / Destiny. Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, that's just my opinion on the whole thing. Like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and take your First Amendment right away, like your freedom of speech, like in whatnot, but like, create your own character. Don't be lazy, right? And that's
I think that's where people have talked about. You do gotta gatekeep your hobbies and stuff like that a lot stronger.
It's lazy, but it's also they want to make money. So there's no way that the chances of you taking Batman and saying Batman's gay and writing that story and making money is, you have a higher probability of making money doing that to Batman than you would be creating your own character, because your own character that you create is not established. So you're taking a character that's established and you're putting your spin on it, and you're pushing your agenda for a payday and also to get your message across, because you can't, like, does that make sense? If you started on a brand new character, like, it's not established, who's going to read it? But
that's like
the characters that are established were once established. They had to become.
Yeah, they had to earn. Then that's what we've talked about, is that they don't have the time. They don't have the patience to put in the time, work, and effort to build new characters. They just go to them. They think that as soon as they put out the books, put out these brand new characters, people should instantly be in love with them and start fawning and praise and demand more and more and more, when no, you gotta actually kind of lay the groundwork and everything. Like, you have, like I said, put the time and effort into it. They don't want that. They want the instant fame.
So, and that's just what's so crazy, because these characters like Peter Parker wasn't always a popular character. Like, there was a starting point, right? Bill Finger was Batman, and I think it was Bill. Yeah, it was I think it's Bill Finger that played a part in Batman. Who created? I think it was Bill Finger. He doesn't get all the credit, but there's like Bill Finger. Who created Batman? There was two people, so it's the same thing with Spider-Man. There was
the character was created by artist Bob Kane and writer Bill Finger.
Okay, so it's similar to the Spider-Man character, like Peter Parker. Stan Lee got the credit, but there's another guy who actually created Spider-Man, but Stan Lee got the credit. It's similar with Bob Kane and Bill Finger. Bill Finger played him, I think.
Steve Ditko.
Ditko was the one, and this is something
created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko.
Yeah. Steve Ditko, I think, did more of the work, from my understanding, and then
he was Ditko was the artist, and Stan Lee was the writer and editor.
So Kane gets the credit, but Finger
played a team effort, basically. But one gets more of the spotlight than the other.
That's the thing. Ditko should have got more of the spotlight than Stanley, but Stanley got it. And the same thing with Bill Finger. Bill Finger should have got more of the spotlight than Kane, but Kane got more. Anyways. So, yeah. No, I agree. Lost my mic here. And like I said, outside Morales, I mean, that was the only, they did that because Obama, and we talked about that. But write your story the way that you want to write it, but don't create your own character. And I like what he said. Don't write it the way that you want. You know what I mean? Write it how the character was intended to be written.
Exactly. Well, and that's like we've talked about with so many different things from Star Wars and everything. What is it? They're only consistent at being inconsistent, and that's writers. The new age writers, they don't know how to maintain that level of consistency, that level of detail with these characters. They're all just about inserting all their mental illnesses and their therapy. They're basically like using these as like therapy sessions and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's like, no, this is meant to be. I hate saying escapist entertainment, but I mean that's to a degree what people generally use this
Well,
as like
and I think
entertainment.
I think somebody said it earlier in the chat. It's like, I would recommend. I mean, indie. So it's no different than we were talking about, like the movies, right? Indie writers aren't beholden to the corporation. Like it's their creative.
No, they're just beholden to their paying customers.
So you might find indie writing that is for that, but that's why I would, I'm to the point where I was just starting. If you like comics, I would really highly recommend either one, sticking with the old school comics, the old school like Batman ones,
back issues and stuff like that,
pre wokeism and all that. Stick with that, or go indie, or like you posted that thing on Twitter a couple days ago.
Yeah, I was actually just getting your tweet now.
Oh, about Grok Comics, man. Like, branch out to some of these newer, or like your Eric.
Yeah, Hitman said here, I recommend Grok Comics, whether you're a Christian or not. These comics are Christian based that promote content that honors God. They don't have any of the woke, asinine, Luciferian doctrine that DC and Marvel are pumping out. And yeah, comic book writer, biracial, Black Italian therapist, and usually a nice guy, unless you piss me off. So that's Grok Comics.
Yeah. Solid dude. I've bought a lot of comics from him. I'm not trying to plug him or anything, but I'm telling you, like these are comics I've had. I've read them, and like I said, whether you're Christian or not, it's the fundamentals are there, the morals are there, right? So you're not going to find this race swapping or gender ideology or any of this kind of stuff with
especially when you're creating your own new characters. There isn't that as an issue. It's just creating these characters,
right?
But yeah, I guess they got the remnant here. World still needs heroes. As soon as the world soon to come world dictator Apollyon is on a mission to bring forth the last days before the appointed time. Under a platform of world peace, he uses his position in the United Nations to assemble a team of superpowered warriors to help him achieve his true goal, the destruction of mankind. The hero Grok, along with the apostle John, who is still alive, search out the globe's greatest heroes to combat the oncoming threat. Together, they will assemble the greatest superhero force the world has ever seen. They are the Remnant.
Yeah. I'll actually do this, I think, and maybe we can do this.
Good prices for some of the books.
I'm going to bring you some of these on Monday, and you can and on your days off, maybe if you want to, maybe read a couple of them, and then maybe on next Saturday, we can kind of review them. But Bill, he's the owner, he's the writer, he's a great dude. I've bought a lot of comics from him. And like I said, I'm not trying to do a shameless plug, but it's just really, man, like they're good moral comics, man. You're not going to find that crap that you, and again, like I'm from a DC guy, like, every time you tweet, I'm like, man, this is hashtag not my DC, right? All this stuff that you tweet, it isn't what I grew up with, but this is the spirit of the age that we're fighting.
Yeah, they've got a Kickstarter campaign going right now for Black Cobra #1. Deals with the aftermath of Black Cobra's PTSD causing ordeal at the hands of the evil Nephilim. 6. And Remnant #2. These 3 adventures follow the ebbs and flows of his journey to not only being a better hero, but a better man.
So Thief in the Night, funny thing. So Thief in the Night, one of the characters is very Batman-esque, in my opinion. Okay. He's one of my favorite characters. But I'm going to bring these Monday, and then if you so want to, just look at them and review them. And they're like I said, the price are not bad compared to what you'll get at what you'll spend for Marvel. I mean, like Marvel DC, they were like $5.99, $6.99, depending on what kind of, if you're cover A, cover B, cover C. But yeah, like that. And then, like I said, I like Eric July stuff. Like I originally wasn't a fan of his. I thought he was just trying to, I didn't know what his intentions were. But the more that I see the stuff that DC's doing,
Yeah.
You know, like I said, back when we talked about, you know, Eric July and everything, I was like, nope, he's a shyster, you know, whatever, like good on him. I did. I thought he was a shyster. I thought he, you know, was just taking
It's
advantage.
good to be skeptical. It's good to be skeptical of everything and to question everything.
And like I said, I'm still not fully
I don't disagree
there,
with you.
but I think, you know, the more that I see the things that DC and Marvel are doing and what they're pumping out, I'm just like, you know what, like it's not the DC that it was, if that makes sense. And I'm not saying that you can't find issues with comics back in the 90s, right? Because like you read,
oh yeah, when you start, I think we've talked about that with like TV. I've brought it up with TV shows and stuff. You can notice early creeping ins and stuff like that.
Yeah, like Alan Moore's V for Vendetta. You read that today in today's political sphere, and that is a very, I mean, it was okay when it was written back when it, you know, back in the, I don't know, it's the early 90s, like it, but you read it today and somebody would say, oh, this is offensive, right? Because culturally it's different.
Maybe it depends on what side of the aisle it caters more to.
For sure. But so yeah, the more that DC pumps out stuff, the more that I will forever have a love for Batman. But like I'm just not, I haven't bought DC comics and I can't tell you the last DC comic I bought. Like I still follow the main, like Zdarsky's run and Ron V's run. Because it's the main Batman, it's Detective Comic run, and then it's, you know, Batman. But I haven't bought comics because of this stuff, because it's like, you know,
that's how they keep losing more and more customers.
So check out Eric July's stuff. I forget what what's his company?
Rippa Comics.
Yeah, check out Rippa.
Yeah,
Rippa.
Yeah, definitely check out this group here.
Yeah, Tribulation Task Force. Bill Raup. Bill, I apologize if I mispronounced your name, but Bill, solid dude, solid comics from what I've read. So, and like I said, and if you find any more comic book companies that are you know out there that are not pumping this ridiculousness out, let us know. And
yeah,
because I still have
100%.
a love for comics. It's just I don't want to follow. It's just DC and Marvel, man. It's like
I just wish we could get more of this, especially. I mean, I know there's indie video games and everything, but development times being sometimes what they are, it's a lot more of a tougher thing to break into sometimes. And I just wish we could get more of that from the video game side. And unfortunately, like it is, even the indie scene for video games has it's rot as well, and it makes it real tough to discern one from another. So
yeah,
hopefully it can get to the same status as I mean, I'd say indie comics is a lot better place
for sure. And and they've incentivized these a lot of these writers to leave DC and Marvel,
right?
You know,
well, that's how I mean, you have Graham Nolan who's doing his own thing with Compass Comics. I mean, and then you've got young Rippa's brought in Chuck Dixon to write Alpha Core. So
Chuck Dixon spent a lot of years at DC. I know he created Bane.
Ethan Van Sciver's doing his own thing, his own company and stuff like that. I mean, you got a lot of these big names that are getting out, and
it sucks because it sucks because it's like what we're talking about, like the Dragon Ball Z stuff. These kids, they grow up loving these characters because of their parents, and it sucks because these kids they're going to read. these
generational, man.
And they're going to think that this stuff that they're pumping out's okay.
Yeah,
and that's the thing, because they don't know Alpha Core. They may not know, you know, Remnant Task Force. They don't know, and they're not going to. And you know what I mean. And that's and that's why it's so dangerous, man. What they're doing, like, you know, again, like, whether you disagree with my beliefs and I disagree with yours, like, I'll still love you as a person, but it doesn't mean I love what you do and I believe what you do is right. And I worry for these kids, man, because they'll read these comics and they'll, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just, and shame on, it's just, it's a dangerous thing, man. So that's all I'll say. So check out Eric Y and this kind of stuff. And yeah. And I think you made this point, and we'll kind of end on this if you want. But I remember you say, you know, in the gaming sphere, at least, like the gaming
It would have to. I think you said something along the lines of like it would have to burn to the ground in its entirety and be rebuilt.
In
And
my
I still don't.
opinion, yes. I think a lot of, and even Tim and Rhino were talking about this, that it needs to burn down and something needs to sprout from the ashes.
But I don't even think if that was the case. It's like Hydra, man. The one thing I know it's like you cut one head off and two rise in its place.
Right. And that's a bit of what we've got going on. You cut the head off from the main two, and then you got more industries popping up around it.
But I think it's fundamental. I think at the core is they're trying to establish fundamentals contrary to the fundamentals that have been since the dawn of times. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? That they're trying to create their own set of fundamentals, and they're trying to erase and get rid of the nuclear family. And I don't know, man. But even within gaming, man, I just culturally, like, I just don't know I don't know if we come back from that. We are fighting the spirit of the age, man. And I don't know if you come back from that. I know gaming, we talked about gaming escapism, but they can, I don't know. I look at the gaming and they can use that to influence the kids and whatnot. I just don't know if you come back from it. I don't. Oh. Even if you burned it to the ground. I mean, do you honestly believe if the gaming industry burned to the ground,
if you burned to the ground and gave it time, kind of went away. I don't know if I want to say went away for a while, but
have people that are going to think that the stuff that they're pushing, like the gender swapping, the race swapping, the gender gender politics, like you have all these things.
I know a lot of stuff is ingrained. I agree.
It is. And it is not even ingrained. It is now like entwined into people's thinking. It's like, and how do you? It's almost like they're trying to I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but I just don't know if you come back from that because this has been a slow, methodic. It's like Palpatine, man. This has been.
I mean, to a degree, you ain't wrong.
Over the Sith over millennia. Man, it's been the boiling frog, and I just don't know if you come back from that. Even if you burn the comics down, right? If you restarted everything, it's still going to be Hydra. You're still going to have the spirit of the age. You're still going to have this evilness around, and I think it still infiltrates. So this is why, like I say, it's still going to be there. So choose something else. Choose not to read. Yeah, choose like Ripa and choose Grok and choose these companies that are a part of the world that are trying to write.
Choose EVS. Choose these other people that are building.
That are not going aren't going to bend the knee to this ideology and whatnot. So no, we kind of went off the rails there, but I want to I want to encourage people that who still have a love for comics, that basically to say that you can still find comics out there.
Absolutely. I like bringing up extra topics that fires you up a little bit.
Oh, for sure, man. Like I said, like I said, whether I'm not ashamed of my faith, and I'm not ashamed to say it. So whether you believe it or not, I still think fundamentally, So
that's why I like bringing that stuff up. All right, let me get through some of these other comments here. So Ariel was saying, hasn't the comic book industry been going downhill for some time before even the woke stuff? I mean, like every industry, it's had its peaks, its valleys, and stuff like that. And then, I mean, it's just been either between a lull, and then I'd say like the cinematic universes have helped kind of prop them back up, but then they get kicked immediately back down with all the woke shit. So.
When you have Catwoman a stronger role than Batman,
yeah, you're in trouble. Spartacus saying Miles Morales was somewhat popular and had potential in the beginning, but it went sideways when they brought him to 616 and began to push him as the new Spidey. I'd say that he was going downhill during the Ultimate run, even before they did the whole merger. Because I've said, they brought back the original Peter Parker of that universe. And then they even crossed over 616 Spidey for an event. So they were really trying to put Miles over even back then. And it wasn't succeeding. So he's had I gave him a chance, but he wasn't proving his worth. He just wasn't an interesting enough character. It just wasn't to me. It wasn't working out. And they tried.
If he had
They
his
desperately
own
tried.
if they didn't make him Spider-Man,
yeah, they were trying to do the passing of the mantle. It doesn't work. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Like I've said, Ben Reilly, a literal freaking clone of Peter Parker, became his own superhero in the name of Scarlet Spider. That's all, that's what it takes. Give him his own name. You can't tell me that there isn't some variant spider name that they could have used for him. Yeah. Chris then saying, yet the problem won't happen since Disney, Marvel, and the family of the man who made Spider-Man came to an agreement. I heard about that. Yeah. They apparently settled with the Ditko family. Sheevster saying comic book characters have always been self-inserts, maybe 50-50 inserts of the author versus the fans they expected to court. There has been some of that, and from the way the fans reacted, they changed up some of the characters and stuff like that. Like I heard, like even Stan Lee is on video saying, they had one idea for the X-Men, and then due to time or whatever, they altered the course of what was meant to be for the X-Men story and stuff like that. So little things like that happen. Ariel said, well, she just shape-shifted her eggs into sperm, so it can't be out of the ordinary. I don't think she could change her whole biology. Like, yeah, she could change her form, Omega her look, but not her biology.
Omega did.
Cheese, sir. Maybe not when they were super cheese, but didn't take long. I don't know where that would have been for Batwoman. And Ariel also said, well, didn't the guy that made Power Girl basically inserted his want for enlarging boobs? I mean, I don't think there'd be anybody that could disagree with that idea. It's maybe not unnatural. Go the natural route, girls. Keep them natural. And also said, so it was originally established that Mystique couldn't become male and impregnate anyone from before? No, she could not.
Is Mystique a girl or a guy?
Mystique is a woman. She's a blue-skinned woman that you saw in that image that I popped up with the red-skinned dude. And I forgot the guy's name, but he's basically like a devil guy. And that was especially why Kurt, being born from the two,
Kurt Connors as Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler.
Yeah, and he was basically seen as a demon child. So he did not have a very proper upbringing. And hey, look at this. You got Chris to want to take a look at Grok.
I said, Chris, amazing comics so far.
Ariel said, well, people have to think, if I make this male character, what will he look like when Rule 34 gets to him and gender swaps him? That's what they think about nowadays. God damn it. You're not wrong, but god damn it. Spartacus saying, God bless it, man. And to you, sir. Ariel Morales, Arachnid. I mean, you can't tell me there isn't like some spider name they could have used for him. Black Arachnid for Morales. And the difference is the people that made the characters we loved were men who had life experience. They worked, they grew up in a different world than we today. This is what is it? They said lived experiences and stuff like that. I mean, you don't have the same kind of journeymen that are out there sitting down and writing comic books.
No, I think to Chris's point, that's why they're so relatable, because it's like Peter Parker. Like I said, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like Peter Parker was a kid in high school that was bullied. We all had been, like, I was.
I started out with him as a kid being bullied by Flash, and then he gets these superpowers and tries to learn how to deal with them and learns a major life lesson early on.
Right. But I think that's why it's so relatable. A lot of these characters are relatable outside Tony Stark. I mean, I'm not really,
even then he was still like yeah.
But he had probably dad issues, though, I think, through the comics. Did he not?
I don't
or
know
is
if that
just the
came
movie?
later, if that was early established or not. I don't know Tony Stark's character that
I
well.
don't either. That's why, like I said, but yeah, I think it's the relatability and whatnot is what draws you to them, you know.
Yeah. Static saying, wait, doesn't that kind of ruin the point of being lesbians? Well, they have to get inserted somehow, unless they use a turkey baster. That's an old method, though. Spartacus, Azazel, that's the guy. And he says that was Nightcrawler's father before the retcon. Thank you. Static says Mystique could only change her looks, right? Being able to completely change her DNA like that means she could potentially copy any powers of a mutant as well, which would make her insanely powerful. Like, that's a ridiculous thing, especially to change her form of Charles Xavier, Magneto, or whomever.
Wasn't it basically Apocalypse? Wasn't he like
he's like the doom bringer of the mutant world. He had his four horsemen of the apocalypse and everything.
But he had every power of every mutant.
I'm a little fuzzy on that one.
I don't know. It's based off the movie. Oh, that's just my knowledge is just based off the movie.
Ariel said, but isn't that what happened in X-Men Futures Past? They used Mystique's DNA to create their multi-powered Sentinels. I haven't watched the Days of Future Past movie, so I have no clue. And Chris said they used Mystique's ability to shapeshift to empower the Sentinels to give them the ability to shapeshift in a way too. Okay. Well, that explains that one then. So we are going to wrap it up because Hitman's going to go and see Godzilla -1, or at least he better,
and give our review.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next week and maybe even do a Godzilla movie ranking, as well. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Of course, next week we'll be back, same bat time, same bat channel. Keep an eye out. I know Sheefster and I want to play some
Battlefront 2.
Shut up, you. Some of the first the game of the Division, since it's got snow and kind of technically during Christmas time, so we see it as a Christmas game. We got to get to it. And then on Thursday night, I'll be on Static's channel for his weekend pregame. Crimson Raptor is asking for a Yoda encore.
No, don't. No, absolutely not.
And thank you, everybody. Hitman, do you have anything you want to drop?
Yeah, I'm actually going to. Well, I'm going to I have to go get another Steam card, but I'm going to be downloading Battlefront 2 as long as you said you were going to do it with me, unless you're going to back out on live stream.
I would never do such a thing.
When I asked you if you're going to download it, like, yeah, I'll download it. Remember, I asked you about that?
Well, now that I got unlimited data at home, now I can do it.
This is my way of getting fractured. Oh, my mic's off. It's my way of getting fractured to coerce fractured into playing Battlefront. So you're down? No, seriously.
EA Battlefront or the original Battlefront 2?
I don't know the difference. I thought there was just one Battlefront. So I guess I had to establish.
I'll show you the differences later.
I'm going to download this, and now that I have to go in later during the day, afternoon. I'm gonna probably play either Wednesday. I don't know what you're doing Wednesday or Thursday, but I may be playing Thursday or Wednesday.
Figure it out. Thank you, everyone. Thanks to seeing some old faces and Tuscan Bob hanging out for a while. That was cool. Static is always being here. Spartacus, thanks for dropping by. Crimson Raptor, Internet Crusader, even you, Ariel. We had some new faces as well.
Sheefster.
No, Sheefster's always around.
No, I know. Lurking. He's a lurker.
He's a lurker. I'm trying to find the name. Oh, Corey Cochran was one. And of course, we had Red Hoodwink here. Huh?
Did we see Brandon?
You have not seen him for a while. I hope he's doing well.
Man.
We had Star Wars Marvel Purist pop in. Luke Norris.
Bob.
I mentioned Bob. But yeah, thank you everybody. Take care. Have a great evening. And you know what? I cannot deny the people. So
do not do this. Don't do.
Our wise little friend is getting festive. It's the all-new animated holiday Yoda.
Enjoy the festivities, you will.
Very wise with season's greetings is he. With much Jedi excitement you'll see. Yoda's motion-activated gestures will captivate all your guests. And his knowing eyes see who's been naughty or nice.
Have much fun together, we will.
May the holiday spirit be with you and the all-new animated holiday Yoda.